3, 2. Oh my God.
Yo, what's up?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the program.
Shout out to Airtime, y'all podcast.
Yes, sir.
All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. We have a long-time friend of mine, somebody that has, changed the fucking course of fucking professional snowboarding forever. She's been involved for 20-plus years and currently is the best backcountry snowboarder on planet Earth. She's X Games gold medalist, has pretty much won every single major contest, except for the Olympics because it was a blizzard and nobody could perform well in those conditions. We have the legend Spencer O'Brien on the podcast. How you doing, Spencer? We finally did it.
We did it. We're here. Wow, that was like probably one of the best intros I've ever been given, so thank you. I'm doing great. Glad we finally lined this up.
I've been bugging Spence for a long time, as I do. No stress, but clearly there was some stress and some anticipation for you to come on the show because what happened before you got here?
Well, I was very excited to get here and so excited that I got a speeding ticket in Squamish. Classic.
What's the speed? Like, how fast? Let's go.
I was going 108 in an 80.
Oh, okay, like that's speeding, but an 80 zone and for a Squamish loc, that's the 108 is like if you're in the long double passing lane zone, it's like that's standard.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly where I was. And he kind of did the jerk move where it was like 200 meters before it turns to 90, get people speeding up too early, but say la vie. It's actually my second speeding ticket in 3 days.
What? Okay, this is a problem now.
Well, he actually told me I have a quiet driving record, which I guess is a good thing. But I was like, apparently not this week.
All right, let's get a big question for you here. Going back to the early days of Spencer, you've accomplished so much in your career over the last 20 years. And I was somebody who lived in Whistler and got to kind of see it all unfold. When you were younger, what did making it as a professional snowboarder look in your head?
Oh, I
compared
think,
to now.
Yeah, it's very different to, I think, nowadays. But when I was young, I grew up reading the mags, waiting till the fall to save my money to buy 1 or 2 snowboard movies for the year. And then just kind of watching those until they fell apart and daydreaming about one day doing it. And then I remember when we finally got the internet, it was like just scouring the internet and to find like any clips of contests or trying to find anyone who had ESPN so I could watch the X Games. Just, it was a bit of a grind to like be a snowboard fan back in the day. But I think for me, I definitely the first time I ever watched X Games, I remember watching Jana Mayen, Tara Nikitas, and like Barrett Christie battle it out. And it was a snowstorm, kind of terrible, but I just remember being like, that's what I want to do. And that's it's just like, I want to be there with those women. And I think I was in grade 9 and Cumberland Junior. And somehow it all kind of fell into place that like 6 years later, I was there.
Fell apart is a word that you used about the VHS tapes that you were buying. What are some of the tapes? What are some of the DVDs that got destroyed that you had purchased that inspired you?
Well, my sister Megan learned how to snowboard before me and she was really into it. So I followed in her footsteps and my dad was really supportive of us. And as many people in Whistler know, is kind of the mayor of Black Park now. He's the biggest shred fan in the world. But yeah, I think the first movie he ever bought for Megan was, I think it was TB9. And I remember watching that movie just like over and over and over again, like especially Victoria's part. And I think it's either TB9 or TB10 where Travis Parker has the part to the Modest Mouse song. I think it's Heart Cooks Brains, I think it's called. You might have to fact check me on that. But anyways, it's a Modest Mouse song. And I like those two parts were just like rewind, rewind, rewind. And then as I got older, I remember, what was the first forum movie that Laurie Hazakari was in?
Video Gangs.
Video Gangs, yeah, that one. We had that one, and then got all the forum movies, had all the robot food movies. Those were by far my favorite. And then I was a huge fan of Mikey HK and Robin and Jeff Brown when they first started putting stuff out on snowboard.com. Like, I followed those guys religiously. And I remember meeting them at Camp of Champs for the first time and being like full fangirl. Like,
I mean, Crapnito, a lot of people haven't heard of that, but if you are over the age of, like, let's say 36, most likely there was only so much content to consume.
Yeah.
As a lot of people, as you mentioned there, you know, I got the internet. Like, that was a big thing. Like, I remember being like, I remember us getting it.
Yeah.
It's like, we got internet now.
yeah, we're old.
Yeah, yeah, totally. But Crapnito was like one of the first. You know what I mean? It was like it was almost in a way. I wonder if it inspired or was like part of the robot food. It was like super similar to robot food, but it was like consistent videos that would drop pretty kind of weekly. You know what I mean? And they would be like super lighthearted, but like really A grade, like park riding. You know, Mikey and Robin and Jeff being able to spin like 720s off the smallest jump, and they were doing like front flips. And I don't know, those videos inspired so many people. Torstein, actually, I know, was a huge fan. And I remember when he met Robin, I was at camp, and it was when Torstein was Torstein. And it was like, whoa, like Torstein's heard of Crapnito. So I think it had like a bigger impact than sometimes I realize. And to pivot a little bit there, you threw out your sister's name, Megan, who was like a underrated snowboarder for sure. She was getting forum stuff when I lived here, and I thought she was like one of the top dogs. How much did she inspire your unfolding of this whole career?
Yeah, my sister, I think, was the biggest inspiration for me growing up. And she still is today. She doesn't snowboard very much anymore. She's a mom and has a great life in Van. She's a wonderful artist. But I mean, she still shreds. It's just she hasn't gone since she had the baby. But I think kind of just having her footsteps to follow in, like, made my journey in snowboarding that much easier. And she was just always, I don't know, she's always so good. And like, even like when we were like little kids at Mount Washington, and like she would do the high school races and they would put her in the boys category because she won. And like all the guys were trying to like Marasha and Eric Green were trying to beat Megan. Like, I don't know, just kind of everything she touched in snowboarding, she was just really natural at and really graceful at. And I kind of think she was like, her personality and the kind of rider she is suits today much more than it did back then. I think now we have such a broader scope of what a pro snowboarder can be. And, like, I think when she realized kind of filming like backcountry jumps and video parts and sledding and competition, like, that just like wasn't for her. And she moved up north to northern BC, and she wanted to split board and do her art, and brands didn't want to support that at that time. And I just think of like who she is and the kind of snowboarder she is, and I'm like, man, any brand would eat her up right now. But
Ahead of the curve.
She was ahead of the curve, but yeah, definitely has like one of the nicest turns of anyone I've ever met, and just like really, really natural and graceful on a snowboard.
So let me ask you this: before you got like put on the map through like hard work, being inspired by your sister, and just the beginning grind of just being a snowboarder and stuff, like, did you find that the outside world felt cliquey? Because I feel like the female space in the early 2000s, late 90s, there was only so many pros. And it's, to me, even when I first moved to Whistler and stuff, it did seem like a hard barrier to entry to get noticed, to get recognized, to get support, to get opportunity, as we all know. But did you feel like other women were inviting into the space that were kind of like either doing well at the local contests and stuff? Or was it kind of like, it felt protective almost to some degree?
Yeah, I think when I was like really young and first starting to do contests and do better, I think I felt that a little bit, but I feel like I was able to navigate, just kind of do my own thing, I guess. And then once I moved out to Whistler and like I met Leanne and Amanda Morant and Fabia and the Mischief Girls, I kind of just got like thrown in to like, I don't know. I feel like snowboarding back then was a little bit like just drop you in the deep end and like sink or swim. Like,
I agree.
are you gonna make it? Who knows? I'm like, I can do a back 3. Like, probably not. Yeah, I was so lucky that to have those girls take me under their wing and really help me and kind of show me the way, because yeah, I was totally out to lunch. I didn't know what I was doing. I like literally went from doing BCSA contests to being in like the Vans Triple Crown and being like, I should not be here. And for sure, like I think within, almost more so within like the brands, because it was a little bit back then, a lot of brands only had one woman. So you really had to protect your place in the industry and protect your paycheck in a way. And I feel like I was in a generation that was the start of the change of that. But you definitely felt that sometimes with when you were trying to find sponsors or being a part of certain brands, it was just like, ooh, I don't want to step on anyone's toes.
For sure. I even picked up on that quick in living in Whistler. You're like the top girl that was on Ride or Solomon or Burton or whatever. It almost like seemed like they were like, nah, that's my space, bitch. That's kind of like, and even I knew that. But you mentioned the Vans Triple Crown there, and you get thrown into the mix. You know, that was a huge event back then for people that don't know. It's like, it wasn't as big as the X Games, but it was pretty close, you know, it was like a US Open.
Yeah.
Who was in the starting gate, you know, when you're strapping in and you're just like, I was in a contest at Mount Washington. I got a sick back 3 and it's really nice to meet you. I'm Spencer O'Brien. Like, and then it's just like Shaun White's there and shit. Like,
yeah, straight up. Like, I think, yeah, it was like Natasha Zurich, Anne Fleur Marxer, Leanne Pelosi, Alexis Wade. And yeah, I remember kind of getting a spot into that contest and just being like so over my head. Like, it was called the bar event, so best all around rider. So it was a slope course, but it had like one huge jump, this really big like rail stair setup that was like on like kind of a steep run. So it was like kind of weird. I just remember it being really weird to hit. And then it had a huge double-sided hip at the bottom, which more contests should have hips because very sick.
Agreed.
And yeah, I just remember being I don't think I hit the jump until like my contest run. Like, I was just so scared. And I think I survived, and I was like, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't be a pro snowboarder. This is kind of scary. But it was really cool, and just like, yeah, getting to see my heroes snowboard and get to compete against them was really special. And I remember right after the contest, I actually went and hit my first handrail at Kings Beach with Logan Short.
What?
Yeah.
No, with the L show.
With the L show.
Shout outs to Logan Short.
Yeah, big shout out to Logan. And I just remember being really scared to hit this rail because he made the takeoff really low. And I was like, can we make it a little bit bigger? And he was like, no, can't be past the first rung.
You know what? I wish more kids, I don't know if you're watching a lot of the rail videos. I mean, no, you're a big backcountry rider. You just won natural selection. But like, I've been watching these new steel films. Swarm, the Rome video, you know, out of the park, killed it. But a lot of these other ones, that ramp has gotten big. Like, it's past that first bar. Like, you never want to go for past the first bar.
Yeah, I think back we grew up in a generation of snowboarding that had crazy etiquette. Like, there was such intense etiquette, and if you did not follow it, you got reamed out. Like, you got told what was up. And I think that part of snowboarding has really died.
Now it's like, fuck it, do anything, dude.
Yeah.
Which is kind of awesome, but there are some pros and cons to that.
Yeah. Like, etiquette in the park, I kind of wish was still a thing. But there's other stuff that I'm happy has gone away with for sure.
So you mentioned a couple slope style / super pro women snowboarders. Who in that, like when you're just getting onto the scene, you know, you're 16, 17 and you're getting your foot wet at a Vans Triple Crown, who was like standing out on those, like, to you live and, you know, exceeding your, like, what the fuck is going on?
Okay, Jana Mayan for sure, like one of my all-time favorite snowboarders. And like the first couple years I was on tour, I was so afraid of her. Like the most intimidating woman, like such a badass, but she ended up becoming one of my best friends and is like heart of gold, the sweetest lady. I miss her so much. But But yeah, back then, like, she was always like so focused, so in the zone, and just like, yeah, she was just doing her thing, and she was so dialed in and just so fearless. Natasha Zurich, absolute like technician. To this day, probably some of the best technique ever in snowboarding. She's just so precise. And then I think for Leanne on rails, like that was when rail jams were still such a big thing, and like watching Pelosi ride a rail jam was pretty insane.
You hit that kink with her, didn't you? The one that she board slid and you 50-50
Yeah,
did?
it was me, her, Tara Dikitas, and Marie France, and Logan.
El Show. Logan? What did Logan get on that? I forget. That was in a Sandbox film, but like you hit a rail with the Tara Dikitas.
Dude, she broke. It was so gnarly. She was trying to board slide it too, and she got really close, and so we kind of all stepped back and like let her just session it by herself because she was like in the zone. And then I remember I think we were pulling each other into it. So like I pulled her in and I looked and she ollied, and I just looked away and I was like, oh my God, no, like she's dead. And I just saw her edge going, like she was so turned over on her toe edge, and like went straight into the kink and just Supermaned over the whole rail. But her nose hit the last kink and propelled her further. And she landed like on her collarbone. She didn't even land on the snow. She landed like on the pavement. It was so bad, and her collarbone was like this, and we were like, I think you should go. We were right by Lionsgate Hospital, so I was like, I think you should go to the hospital, Tara. And she was like, I'm fine. I'm going back to Squamish. And she like got in her truck and drove herself back to Squamish.
Was she actually kind of fucked up though?
Yeah, she fully snapped her collarbone. But she had actually pulled in on Squamish and went to the hospital. And then Mofo got broke off like right after that. And then me and Leanne were kind of like, I don't really want to hit this anymore.
Vibes are zero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The takeoff is very low.
Yeah.
Thank you, Logan.
There's nothing worse than like when you're at a session, you're hyped to get a clip on something, and then somebody else gets hurt. It's kind of like, I don't know. I always compare it to like going to Super Park, and or any Super Park's just a good, I don't know, you could say the North Star for those kind of events. But you see somebody sketch out in front of you. Yeah, I feel like I would get in my head and be like, oh no, I'm going to sketch out on this. And you're like, oh no, you're not going to do that. But like you see somebody taco down a flight of stairs, you're like, vibes are pretty low right now.
Yeah, very low. But, Scott Surface was shooting, and Leyland, a little bit of a Hammer media crew.
That is that's an iconic, like, wow, what a group.
Yeah, it was good. I was very scared of Surface also.
Yeah, I mean,
big dog.
Yeah, totally. At that point, it's like 589 covers of Trans World. You're like, oh fuck, like gotta perform.
Yeah.
What would you say like put you on the map? Your first time where you were like, I'm part of the club. I've broken the ceiling. I'm kind of in now.
I mean, I think like the first time I ever thought like, well, maybe I can do this. Like maybe this isn't just like a pipe dream. Was that I won boardroom slopestyle at Seymour when I was like 16. I had won the week before, and then people were like, oh, you should just do the pro. And I was like, well, I don't know. I don't think I'm there. And they're like, yeah, you should just do it. And I did it and I won. And actually some people got mad about that, which was weird. I was like, I'm 16. It's not like I won the pro and then did the AM. But that was kind of the first time where I was like, oh, maybe like something could happen with this. But then I think like as far as being a pro and like feeling like I had really made it, I don't think it was until I won Dew Tour.
Damn.
Yeah, because I had a really strong like rookie year, like the year we filmed for Mischief. I had a part in that, and that was my first year living in Whistler. And so I had a part in Mischief. I think I got a cover. I got rookie at the US Open, and then the next year I think I got third in slope or second in slope. And so like my like kind of rookie year on tour was like amazing, but it was because I was just like, this is the best. Everything's incredible. I'm riding with my idols and snowboarding's so fun. And no one had any expectations of me. I wasn't getting paid. It was like, I don't know. I was just like a kid living my dream. And then, you know, the next couple of years I started to get contracts, and then all of a sudden snowboarding is a job and it's not just fun, and there's all this pressure. And those were like 2 or 3 really, really hard years. And I did really bad in contests. And I actually almost got dropped. And then right before my contract came up with Burton, I won Dew Tour. And they were like, this is the only reason we're signing you. And I was like,
I know.
yeah, I know, but phew.
I mean, I feel like those younger years, they're such a blessing because you're just wide-eyed and excited. You're going to new parks. You're meeting new pros. You're learning how to set up a jump with Logan Short, and Leyland's filming you, and you're like, whoa, I'm hitting a rail with Arc'teryx, and it's all so new and fresh. And the pressure that does come along with your first couple contracts is kind of fucking crazy. Like the first time I ever got like a legit contract that was for longer than 1 year, I remember being like, that second year, you're like, how does my video part look? How am I doing? And you just judge yourself at like kind of a different level. But a thing that's kind of unique to, I think, women is it wouldn't only be the pressure of like how you're riding, but at the time it was very like, are you fitting the mold of what we're trying to sell?
Yeah.
And I felt like guys could have a bit more personality. You know, you could be the character like a Nima Jalali or Scotty Whitlake or whatever. But like, I feel like in women, they were looking for you to just be this like, just be a beautiful girl that we can fucking sell product for. Like that's kind of how it felt even to me in the magazines.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was like 50-50. It was like, are you hot enough or are you good enough? Hopefully you're a little bit of both. Like, and I had agents that straight up told me that, like, you need to lose weight or you need to be better. Like, it's like, you got to make yourself look good. Like, it's like, it's sad, but that's just like a reality of marketing. And especially in that time, like being just being a woman in sports, like it's very rare that it's ever just about how good you are, which is a shame.
Yeah, there's a dance to that. I definitely appreciate when there's something more to the rider than just their talent, but it shouldn't be their looks. Like that to me is like, I think any brand that's looking for that is like, it's so problematic to have that. And I don't think it's ingrained as much in action sports anymore.
No.
And I don't think it ever really was for on the male side, but on the women's side, that was totally the case. And you look and it's like, it almost seemed like if you want the check, like sex sells, you know what I mean? Like you look at like I had pinup posters of Arc'teryx on my wall and fucking, you know, all the girls,
the body paint,
all of them, like they were, and it was just like, but like, that's not what it should be at all. You know what I mean? Like, especially when these women are so young and stuff, and they're vulnerable, and like making somebody not feel like their looks are like gonna get them places in life is a fucked up thing, and it fucks up people. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going at an event, I imagine, like, if you don't perform well and you also are already getting phone calls from your agent that's like, hold the standard and like, you need to be at, you know, you need to be weigh 135. If you get above that, like, I'm letting you know that that's problematic. You're like, what the fuck are you doing to my head? Like, I'm just trying to snowboard here and have fun. And that naive first year, it feels like you're like, wow, that was kind of special. And now that I'm in this game, it's kind of toxic.
Yeah, it was hard to navigate at times for sure, but I feel like I got pretty lucky with the sponsors that I had, and you know, I felt a bit of it, but it wasn't as bad, I think, as the generations before me had to go through. And I think getting to be with Burton for those first like 10 years of my career was really rad, because they did have a big women's team, and it wasn't just one or two girls, it was like 8 of us, 10 of us. And so having kind of that camaraderie within that team and that brand was really special. And I think kind of helped shield me from a lot of that, which was nice.
Was there kind of like a North Star woman that was kind of just like, I'm not playing that fucking game and I'm kind of the best right now and fuck you guys, that kind of like, you know, pushed the boundaries of like, I'm not playing the whole like, what your agent was saying there. Like, you got to lose weight. You got to be a babe. You got to fucking also win. And like, they're just like, no. Like
Jana.
Nice.
For sure.
So she was just the one that was just like, fuck you guys. I'm me.
Yeah, I mean, she like never even showed her face. She was like always fully covered up, all black all the time. And she was just like Volcom from day one until the end. And she was just such a boss. She just didn't care about what anyone thought of her. Like all she cared about was snowboarding. And I really respected that about her. She really did things her own way, and she paved the way for, I feel like her career is very underrated and really not appreciated. Like the first woman to do a 900, first woman to 3 or 4-peat at X Games.
Damn.
Yeah. Like she was a boss. And yeah, I think kind of is very underappreciated. I think most pro women from the past are underappreciated by snowboarding. Like we don't take care of our legend female riders.
Jana Mayen to me is like a household fucking crazy name, but you got to wonder if like the new generation even has heard that name ever.
Yeah, I doubt they have any idea who she is, and she was in the freaking garden. Come on.
She has a bunch. She has a frontside grab in one of these like old, I think it's a standard movie or something like that. And she's got like, it's like 92 or 93, it's like, it's gonna start night tonight. It's gonna be a fun night. That song, that song? It's a no. Anyways, and she has the sickest frontside indie. Like, I mean, Todd Richards is gonna kill me, a frontside grab, indie, whatever. And I remember being like, Jana Mayen has been involved like early 90s all the way to you saying like first at fucking X Games to do a 900.
Yeah, her last event was due to her in either 2012 or 2013, Snow Basin, Utah, and Jamie got second and I got third, and she won and just retired, and no one ever saw her again.
She's like, I'm out.
Yeah, I was like, what an exit.
And then I actually reached out to Jamie before this call, and she had some funny things to say. She was like, oh, when Spencer first came on, it was just like beef. Like, there's the girl who's trying to beat me. I was trying to beat her. And she's like, and now we're like besties. I fucking love that girl. But it was just like, we were competitive. Can you speak to that rivalry? Like,
I know. I love it. I mean, I have such an appreciation for Mayen and Jam's relationship and how long we've known each other. And yeah, like we've gone from competitors to frenemies to now like, yeah, best friends. Like she's one of my greatest friends. And but that friendship really didn't blossom until I stopped competing.
And you're still competing. You just won natural selection.
Yeah. Friends off next year at NST, Jamie.
Yes.
No, but I just have such an appreciation though, because like I know that I'm the snowboarder I am because I got the honor really of competing against her and really getting second to her for 15 years.
I mean, you did beat her a couple times.
A
couple golds there.
I think Gerhard he interviewed me once at US Open, and he was like, how does it feel to like kind of like you would have been the best of your generation if you didn't have to go against the GOAT the whole time? I was like, fuck you, Gerhard.
I mean, that's anybody who is up like against like the Kelly Clarkin pipe or Sean White or Terrier. It's just like being second for like 8 years because that motherfucker was born. You're like, damn it.
Yeah. But yeah, like I got her a couple times, and I just like, I know that we pushed each other so much. And I think in turn we got to push women's slope in a very weird time during like the transition from 2 different courses, one for women, one for men, and just like kind of a really weird time where women were not really respected in the sport, and we had to fight really hard to kind of have a place. And yeah, I just feel really lucky to have gotten to do that alongside her.
What kind of like changes have been made since then?
Yeah, so kind of during the first couple years that I was doing like X Games and bigger events in like I guess that's like 2006 to 2009-ish era, maybe 2010. Yeah, there was like 2 takeoffs on all the jumps for slope. And then women weren't allowed to do big air. We just like straight up were not allowed to do it. And it was so annoying as a rider because you were riding two different courses. Like the whole field wasn't riding the same course. So the judging was always so weird. They were either rewarding, like me and Jamie were riding the bigger jumps, but doing smaller tricks. But then you had girls like Sylvia Mittermuller and Kirsty Buas doing like big front sevens, but they were like on the smaller jumps. And so there was just this big discrepancy in like how the contest should be judged and what was the best way to help push the sport forward. And it's actually when Dew Tour happened, they just didn't build the small side. And a lot of girls were like outraged and like really upset. And it took a couple of years for kind of the entirety of the field to like really get comfortable riding the bigger features. And we did see like kind of a step back in progression where like the tricks got a bit smaller. But I really think that was the catalyst for like the riders that we have today, because those girls grew up never having to like even think about two different courses or like being like, oh, I can only do my big tricks on little jumps and I'm scared of big jumps. Like it was just like that kind of different playing field has never even entered their minds. And I just like, I'm so grateful that the sport got to that place, because that was like, it was a really, I really didn't like competing when it was like that. And once it switched over, it took, like I said, it took a while for things to kind of come back up and then start to progress again. But yeah, once it did, it just never stopped going up.
Yeah, it's like you're half involved, you know. It's like, oh, the slope's over, now it's big air and it's just dude time, and you're like, why can't, like, no, we want to hit that jump. The jump looks sick. Yeah. And like a lot of the most progressive things that happen at X Games and those, you know, those of that scale of event, it happens because it's like it's in the moment, you know, like the triple cork and stuff like that, and the quad and all those things. Like a lot of things, like the 2360 that just happened, the first ever, and it's absolutely perfect. And he landed that should have been a full 100, by the way. I forget his name, but like he landed that thing bolts. The judges blew that score. Yeah. But you know, not being invited to go to the big air, which that would have led to a lot of progression. Totally. You know what I mean? Like those are perfect big jumps and you feel the energy of the crowd and stuff. So you do push yourself, and like that must have been a bummer. Like why can't we hit this fucking jump? Well,
yeah. In some years, the big air was the last jump of slopestyle. And you're like, we're already hitting it.
That's like, pride.
Like, why aren't we allowed? And that was a big thing, was like during that time frame, it was like the first double cork was done in a big air, the first triple cork by men, like they were all done in like pretty much at X Games in big airs, and the women never had that opportunity. And so for a woman to have like that opportunity of like, oh, okay, like I've landed my best run I can do in the final slope, I'm gonna send it on the last jump and I'm gonna try a back 10 or like whatever. You got to get through 6 other features just to be able to try the trick that you've been wanting to try. And whereas in big air, it's like, you see it all the time. People run out of tricks and they're like, well, I'll just go for the next thing. And that's one cool thing about big air, that you get that opportunity of people really rising to the occasion, and then that funneling down and feeding into the progression of slope. But now we have it, so it's good. And we also have airbags, and now
they've changed snowboarding forever.
Yeah, I mean, I do hate them, but for women's snowboarding, I think they've been a blessing, especially because just the level the girls are at now it's somewhere I never expected it to be. And I don't know, I think women's slope right now is the most exciting thing in snowboarding, to be honest. I love watching all those girls compete.
95% of the listeners agree right now. Yeah. Men's snowboarding has got into like this, like it's almost like a sci-fi movie, and not everyone loves sci-fi, and you're like, it doesn't even, you're like, I don't know, you're watching like, it's like a space movie or something. You're like, what am I watching?
I can't count that
2660. They look like a tornado that got pressed like 4 times fast in the editing room. You're like, what? I don't know. It's like, it is cool, and I appreciate it, and it is wild to see the human limit. But when you have tricks like, one of my favorite times is when Mikkel Bang dialed in the switchback 12, you know? It looked so fresh. And to see Zoe do them better, you're like, Yeah, that's fresh. I loved seeing switchback 12s. Like the 12 to me is like the pinnacle of like Stee, you know? Anything after, it's like you can make it look good, of course. But like all the women where they're going right now is like 10s, 12s, 14s. I'm imagining there's going to be some 16s done at fucking this year's Olympics. It's going to be a gripping Olympics this year.
It's going to be epic. I'm even the US team. I'm like Jamie coming back in the mix and Haley and Julia coming out of injury. I'm very excited just to see who's going to go for Team America.
Yeah, fuck, Mark Mix got a fucking clutch in his spot still, and if there's anybody who's sitting in last place that can just absolutely win the whole thing, it's Mark. And
the king under pressure.
Who would you say is the queen under pressure? Who's clutch that you're like?
I would say Jamie, which is obviously easy answer, but it is true. She is pretty clutch under pressure. She just goes, I just visualized it. What? Okay. But I think also Zoe too. Zoe's pretty clutch under pressure. She's really handling just all the pressure that comes with being the best. And she's got a lot of girls biting at her heels, and she's just keeps up in it and keeps going. And I think it's really a hard thing to do, to stay on top when things are moving so fast. And she's handling it really well, and best switchback side in the game. I love it.
I totally agree.
I'd paid just to watch her do switchback side all day long.
Her whole career has been a little annoying to me. The first time she was at NST and she's just riding like a goddamn fucking legend in AK. Just like, I'm jumping onto this spine wall and just having a good time. And what am I doing over here? Just winning everything? Like, what? I think that her being a little naive to just like the video game world, it was a blessing. Like she was just like, oh, I'm doing natural selection because my team manager told me that I'm going up to Alaska to do NST. And it's like, for me as somebody who's like worked my way up in the backcountry, I'm like, dude, that's the final fucking boss. And you just zipped right to it. Yeah. And you figured it out immediately. Like,
yeah, she's something else. Like, yeah, I don't know. I'm big fan, and really, like, as spectacular as her competitive career has been, I am really excited for when she fully moves over to backcountry. She's already like wiping the floor with everybody, but it's just, I think she's going to really change the game in Alaska and on backcountry jumps too. And
there is no denying that, like, she just came over from her little canoe or whatever.
Canoe? That's a big canoe.
From New Zealand or wherever she's from, and is like the nicest. She's incredible. Yeah. Like, she's such a good person to be the face of women's snowboarding. Yeah. Like, it seems to me like she fucks with all the other girls. She uplifts them all. I'm proud that she's in the space. When I hang out with her, I'm like, you're good for snowboarding. Yeah. And not everybody. Like, you look at Sean, who just like turned into like too big of a rock star, where like it's not even really his fault. He just like turned into, like, America turned him into a superstar that, like, I don't think he knew what to do with that.
Yeah. Well, I think he knew what to do with it. He just didn't know how to be when he came back into snowboarding.
True. Jamie juggled that a lot better, because Jamie's like, you know what I mean? She's going on to Oprah's show and stuff, and she's a superstar. And when you hang out with her, she seems pretty like down to earth.
Yeah, that's true. But I feel like Jamie should have been like as big as Sean.
I mean, she's close. If she does
know.
Well, no. I mean, nobody is, but like at that level. No.
Especially not Cheddar Bisque wise, you know. Like, I don't know. I just think for what Jamie has accomplished, it's pretty mind melting when you look at her resume, and the fact that she's still doing it. Like, you know, it blows my mind, really. Because I was there with her in the very beginning, and now she's still going and, you know, still right there with all the girls and has 2 babies at home. And I don't know.
Yeah, Sean, kids.
Yeah, Sean, you didn't have any babies, did you?
You didn't have 2 babies.
But yeah, I just like, obviously Jamie's had an incredible career and has had so many blessings and amazing things come her way. But to me, she's such a superstar outside of snowboarding as well. And I don't know, don't think she got fully the recognition she should have from, I guess, America.
I think that she did, and I almost feel like when she moved up to Whistler and what she decided to do and what everyone decides to do with your free time plays a big role. So I think
true.
Sean's free time was spent in celebrity eye. He was trying to be in that world, to infiltrate that. If Jamie was trying to do that, she just wasn't. Her free time was spent hanging here on the dock in Whistler and like hanging out with homies and going on hikes and dirt biking with her friends like Carissa and stuff, and just being Jamie in the woods, which I think has balanced out her life and has made her, as somebody who really values people who get to the top and balance that with a healthy lifestyle. I'm like, kudos to you, because the amount of people that chase that dream of being like fame and money and gluttonous and stuff, they get to a hole where they're like, I didn't fucking want to even be here. Yeah. I think Jamie's navigated that fairly well for how.
Yeah. 100%. She has like, such a beautiful balance in her life. And you're probably right. Maybe that's just how she wanted it. And
I mean,
mad respect.
Same to you though. You know what I mean? Like how when did you first turn pro? Like meaning you're getting paid.
Getting paid, I was 16 or 17.
Come on. Rusty didn't get paid till he was like 28.
we were on face shots together. I think I signed with Burton. I had my first paying contract with Burton was when I was in grade 12.
And what's that? $500 a month? $1,000 a month?
Yeah, like if that. It was not very much, but I was hyped. Because my first year in Whistler, so it would have been end of grade 12. So yeah, it would have been 17 that I got a contract. Because my first year in Whistler, I used the money that I won from Boardroom Slopestyle, and I worked at a coffee shop, and I worked on my dad's fishing boat, and I saved every penny to move to Whistler for one season.
Oh, we love the hustle over here. Good stuff.
And I had just enough money to live off Hamburger Helper and Pita Pit and pay rent. And because I won a sled the year before at US Open. So
what was like your broke diet food? Like when you were absolutely like not on red, but you're in the negative. Like what was your diet then? Like
Hamburger Helper.
That's pretty ballin'. Mine was I got so bad canned hot dogs at the dollar store.
Ew.
Yeah, I know. I've never been the same since.
Yeah, because I was never that hard up.
They were $1. I remember I brought them home, and I was living with I forget who at the time, like my friend Jeeves and Anthony, and they were just like, "What the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, I'll buy you tuna," and I was like, "I'm broke."
Yeah, I feel like all I knew how to make was Hamburger Helper.
Hamburger Helper is that's kind of ballin'.
Yeah, but it's big,
it's that's intermediate level cooking there.
It lasts it makes a lot of meals.
Soup is the easiest, I think, because you're just heating it.
Yeah, there's a lot of Campbell's soup in rotation for sure.
I remember being, I'm just going to save some of these like poor stories just for myself. I don't need to share them with anybody. I was going to tell everybody that I was so broke one point I was like so poor that I would scope out like chicken fingers on the like that people haven't eaten, and I'd be like, that one doesn't look like it's been touched, and I'm fucking starving. And I was like, dude, you got to get a job. But I just didn't want to work because I just wanted to snowboard and like play video games. You know what I mean? I was like, I moved here I was 17. I was just like, and then by 18, I was like, people would start making fun of me, be like, yo, dude, you're kind of living like a rat or something like that. Dude, you're sketchy.
You got to at least be able to buy craft dinner.
One thing that I really want to pick your brains on, specifically you, because I feel like I've had this conversation with you, but I feel like you're the right person to have it with. So, influencers. There's a lot of money that gets allocated to women influencers. How do you think that expenditure should be like broken down between women influencers, what they are, women athletes, and what's the difference between the two of them? Because I think putting them in different categories is kind of important. Yeah,
I would agree with that. I mean, maybe that's like an old head thing, like what really makes a pro snowboarder, or whatever. But I mean, the landscape is changing, and unfortunately with the influencer stuff, we see it a lot more heavily on the women's side. And already our budgets that are allotted to female snowboarders is smaller. And we're getting a big chunk of that taken out to be given to people. It goes back to what we were talking about before. It's just like, who are better looking. I don't know, like, for lack of a better word, or like, it's so weird to me sometimes. Like, I remember when Burton was like, they like had influencers on salary, like a couple girls, they'd fly them out to the US Open. They could turn a snowboard, but that was it. And they were hot and pretty cool. But like, I was like, I don't get this. Like, why are you paying these girls who, like, yeah, they have a following, but like, is this following? Do any of these people snowboard? Probably not. They follow these girls because they're hot models. And like, meanwhile, you have Anna Gasser, who is a hot model, who has hundreds and hundreds of thousands of snowboarding followers because she can do triple corks. Like, wouldn't you want the money to go to her? I just don't get it.
And the hot girl that can turn down the hill isn't going to inspire the next Anna Gasser.
No, absolutely not. And I mean, I guess there's the relatability thing, and there's, I mean, a lot of different ways to like justify it or whatever. But I think at the end of the day, like, it's just snowboarding is changing. Our entire like society and the way we consume media has changed so much with social media. And I don't think that this facet is going anywhere. And, you know, I do like, I respect the hustle. I think one cool thing that has come from social media is people being able to really carve their own path. And really, if you have enough hustle, you can really kind of make anything a job. Like, it's wild. People make money cleaning their apartments and filming it.
You can do anything.
Anything's possible. And, you know, like, you got to respect the hustle. If people have the balls to hit up a snowboard brand and be like, hey, I want $5,000 to do a post about this snowboard. And they're like, can you snowboard? And they go, yeah. And they don't do any research to look up if that person can even ride a snowboard. Like, that's kind of on the brand.
I think that it reflects the brand. And I think brands who don't carefully navigate this and haven't carefully navigated this don't realize that they've bruised their image more than they realize. I think that kids aren't stupid. Kids are influenced by dope shit. And if your shit is milky and soft, and what I mean is like action sports kids are influenced by people who are inspiring individuals who do that craft. Yeah. And they're not dumb. Doesn't matter which side of the fence you're on, male, female, whatever. It's like you're inspired by someone who's doing something on a snowboard where you're like, that's inspiring because there's a way that they're doing it. If it's like this part-time beginner who's barely able to carve down the hill, yeah, they might influence people to buy your product, but who's wearing your product? And when your product gets like a milky look, like your look is everything. You know what I mean? Like, and then your brand, when someone buys that, it doesn't come with that feeling. And I talk about that a lot. Like, your brand needs to come with a feeling. So when you buy that jacket, you're like, I'm part of this club. And then when that club gets fucking milked down by being like, that's an influencer brand, and then you have a bunch of influencers wearing your product. And yeah, for sure, maybe you're getting those likes and you're getting those views, and your brand has 1 million followers, and you're just sitting there all fluffy and warm because you have so many likes and followers and so many views.
So much validation.
And so much validation, you piece of shit, lazy shit. You're lazy. Honestly, anybody who that's all they follow is the likes, the follows, and the views. You're lazy because there's people that have a bigger impact that have a lesser following. I'm not saying no following, but a lesser one that have a real impact. You know, that by being an inspiring individual. Joe Lax, he's a firefighter. He's awesome. He rules. He protects all of us from fires. And then he goes up and rides big first descent lines. Like, that's inspiring.
Such a badass. Yeah, like, it's such a funny one. And I think, it can be hard as like a female rider when like you see, you know, I'm obviously lucky to have had the career that I've had and to still be doing this and to still have brands that support me. But there's like a lot of people, a lot of girls that like, and guys that are grinding so hard just to get, like, just to stay in the game or just to get a contract. And that's when it gets like that's when it just breaks my heart a little bit, is to know that they're like that those budgets that maybe were once for amateur female riders don't exist anymore. That's, I think, where there's a real problem. I think it's fine to have money allotted for that type of marketing, because obviously it works in some regard, and now it's just a part of our industry. I think we just need to accept that a little bit. But I just hate to see like it take over like half of the women budgets, or like especially like the AM budget, because like those are the girls that need the support so that the sport continue to grow and continue to flourish the way it has been.
I think that it's fine to find, like, okay, let's say that there's this girl and she takes dope film photos and she's got like a vibe and she's just dope, and you're going to send her some product. That's chill for sure. Do that. Send her. But if it ever comes with budget, I'm talking like you're paying dollars for her, like, put that money somewhere else. I just think that money is so not well spent. Yeah. Sending product to people that are cool, I get. If like I'm looking at Airtime right now, and I think that like if Airtime grew in 3 or 4 years to like a massive brand, and I had like a lot of merch and stuff like that, like I think I would like bump into people that I fuck with and be like, I'll send you a box. Yeah. But like as far as paying goes, like draw the line in the sand somewhere and let people know what you stand for. And it's like I would never pay anybody who didn't like do something inspiring on a snowboard that's going to inspire others, because I just don't find it inspiring. But like that's how I'm going to navigate my brand. And I've seen how other companies have done their brands, and I'm sitting on the sidelines laughing. And I'm kind of like, when I see other companies that like do the influencer stuff, I'm like, I kind of didn't forget that. You know what I mean? I'm kind of like, yeah, we all saw that. Like, and as somebody who like grew up like with, you know, Dara's a great example. She's a very close friend of mine, and I witnessed Dara Reed just grind, you know, like being on rail trips with her and like going home and having no clips and trying to hit the rail with the Logan short and tacoing, and you're going home with no clips. You tried to, you're broke. You don't know if you're going to keep getting sponsored. You go back the next year and you get the clip, and you're sleeping on the floor of like a shitty hotel with a bunch of dudes. And let's not fucking like, women have menstrual cycles. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like, it's a different level of commitment when you're a girl and you're out there grinding in the streets with like a bunch of dudes that don't have that world. And it's just like the commitment that she put into snowboarding to get what she got, and me witnessing it firsthand. I would be doing such a disservice by ever allocating money to not the next like Dara's and you of the world, because I've seen what they've accomplished, and it is inspiring to me.
Yeah, and it goes to show like just like how little that pot is. Like Dara's so sick, and she had to grind for so long to get the recognition that she deserves, and she deserves more if you ask me. But like it's just there's so many girls like her that give up because
they give up,
you know, and like that's a testament to Dara and her fucking strength, because props, girl. Like she grinded it out and she knew what she wanted and she went for it, and I think that's so respectable. And I'm glad that people in the industry finally woke up and gave it to her and are taking her seriously and giving her the opportunities that she's getting now. But like I just think too, like with like, I mean, I've heard a stat recently that is like the most sought after job in the world, like the dream job is social media content creator or influencer. Like that's what people dream of doing. And I'm like, that is so sad. Like I don't know. Like, and I think it dilutes like the whole sport, because then you're like, if that's all people are aspiring to, they're not aspiring to become the next Zoe or the next Anna or, even the next Dara. It's like, they're just like, well, I just want to shoot some cute videos with my thong sticking out of my snowboard pants, and I'm going to be rich.
And likes, and dopamine. And then like all you do is stare at your phone, and then you lose your mind. And it's like, nah, that ain't it. Like, I don't know. Like that's such a sad stat. Like,
it's so
sad. yeah.
I think we're in a weird spot in society right now where we're really
we are
like,
in a weird spot.
It's like we're celebrating like mediocrity, like the Kardashians. Perfect example. Yes, whatever, they're good business women, whatever you want to say, but like they're not good at anything.
Nothing.
They're not athletes. They're not actresses. They're not.
Can't play the piano.
I guess Kendall's a model, but like whatever, you know. They're really just there.
They're super smart business women because they're surrounded by money and opportunity.
Yeah, and they've capitalized on what they've been given, but like that to me is like what people are striving for now. It's not like they don't want to be like the next Serena Williams. They want to be the next Kim Kardashian, and like that sucks.
Yeah, but I think everyone who follows, it's dangerous too, because if everyone celebrates that path, humans tend to be sheep, and then they'll all follow that path, and they'll all go to a place of misery, because it's not like being somebody who's addicted to social media likes. It is like everything that you're told not to do, like staring at yourself. My mom always used to say this, like I'd be getting ready to go out, and like I would look in the mirror for a little bit because I was an insecure 14, you know what I mean, like every other kid. And my mom would be like, don't look in the mirror. So like, don't fucking like, that's like the devil in there. Like you don't need to stare at yourself and pick your, yeah, it is. It's so like, it's just consumption, vanity, gluttonous. It's like everything that's wrong with the world is chasing the Kim Kardashian life. And the craziest thing is when you look into the stats of those people, most of them are the ones that they all have like in and out of rehab. They all have, like they all are in therapy 24/7, and I'm not shaming therapy at all. I think it's great, but like these aren't great examples of the world and people that are like well balanced and spending enough time in nature and stuff. And as two people who spend a lot of time in nature, like how important is that element to you living a fulfilling life?
Oh, I mean, like one of the most important, I think. I mean, like I just moved to Yuki last summer, and even like the last like couple weeks I was out there, I just like would go for walks with my dog in the evening and just be like, how is this like my backyard?
It's fucking gorgeous there.
It's gorgeous.
It's fucking nice.
But like, yeah, and it just like, it's so funny because yeah, I'd be like on my phone or whatever and be like social media doom scrolling, and then be like, oh, I gotta walk the dog and take him out and just be like, oh, I feel so much better. The waves and the sun and even sometimes the sideways rain. It's so nice.
Everybody here gets what you're saying.
Yeah, but I mean, and then it's obviously especially the mountains. It's like I think I love the backcountry so much because you get to disconnect. Yeah. Speaking about nature. But yeah, cheers, buddy.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
Yeah. I think like, yeah, it's just like so special getting, and so different than competing where you're just like half the time is in an airport and you're traveling nonstop and all you see is ski resorts and slopestyle courses, which is great too. It's a special time of my life, but like to now having my days be just in the backcountry for 8 hours with no cell phone reception and just with my friends riding powder, it's like just a dream come true.
Okay, women filming for only women projects or women filming for hybrid projects, which one do you feel like is a better lane, and what's the pros and cons? You've kind of done both of filming like all women project, full moon, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, or being in kind of a hybrid.
I mean, I think there's space for both. I love my time with the girls. It's always just so much fun being out there with them and shooting the shit with them. And man, we talk a lot of shit. It's like insane.
Hell yeah, brother. Right there with you.
Yeah, right. Like the backcountry banter is just next level.
Yeah, totally.
And yeah, like, I mean, I've just learned so much from Leanne and Marie and Robin, Helena. Like it's been so awesome. But I also really love my time with the guys too, and like, you know, the days I got to go out with you guys for 10 for the last Man Boys movie were like so awesome. Like I just pushed myself so hard, and that part I really love. Like I find sometimes, and maybe too, it's like a newer crew and like, you know, you want to like show up and impress people and like show that like,
Oh yeah.
I'm not going to get my sled stuck and I've got the right shovel. I know what I'm doing.
I could hang.
You can hang. But it's like yeah, it just, I don't know. I think there's pros and cons to both. And I really wish there was more hybrid projects. I feel like with backcountry, we're still a little bit in the age of like 1 or 2 girls a movie, you know? It's kind of a bummer. It would be nice to see a bit more melded crews.
Yeah, like a 50-50 kind of vibe.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I feel like giving it barriers though is like kind of annoying too, like because then it just seems like I don't know, like you don't want to just be checking boxes for the sake of checking boxes, but like I look at like I don't know, Dustbox or whatever, they just kind of include their homies that are kind of around, or like same with us, it was just like we're friends with you. Mm-hmm. And you are a safe person in the backcountry. It's like, yeah, let's bring Spence. And I think everybody, given the opportunity, should just bring their friends out there. You know what I mean? And whether that's a full crew of dudes, there's no problem with that. But like, if you're friends with a girl who's trying to like go out there and get it, maybe kind of like give them that opportunity. Mm-hmm. And it does, like with sponsorships though, that's the one thing that becomes kind of annoying, is because there's a lot of layers to like a video project. You know what I mean? Like, oh, like this, like, I don't think, not every listener is going to know what we're talking about, but there's kind of like the A crew and the B crew. And it's like the A crew paid the most money, so they get to go on all the dope trips and they're the super pros. Then there's the fucking B crew, AKA me, my whole life. Just kind of showing up like, yo, can I come, you know? Yeah. But then I feel like as the B crew that's not really bringing in the budget and stuff, it's hard to like advocate for just being like, yo, can we bring like Dare out or whatever.
Yeah,
but like
sure.
But you kind of need, I do, even for me, I feel like moving forward, like I do want to spend more time with my friends in these situations. And I think airtime is going to allow me to just do that. Like to be like, yeah, let's just, me and Dara are going to go out and we're going to flip over a pine tree. You know what I mean? But you want to give those opportunities as much as you can. Mm-hmm. But I think doing it authentically is like an important part. Yeah. Like go and hang out with your friends. But if you're friends with a bunch of women, like bring them along for the ride.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like there doesn't need to be like a separation. And but I will say, like with projects like Full Moon, it's one thing like I think that is so rad about it is helping bring the new girls into the backcountry, because that's the hardest part. Like that's the biggest barrier to entry in filming in the backcountry, is finding people to teach you how to snowmobile. Like
that is a huge barrier to entry.
I don't know how to drive this. Will you take me and dig me out 25 times? Like, no. And like it's really like it's actually quite really very admirable how many girls Leanne and the Full Moon girls have like taught how to snowboard or how to snowmobile, myself included. But it's, you know, because it's hard, and that first year sledding is really gnarly, and I think that's like a huge barrier for a lot of girls is just finding people to teach them and take them in the backcountry and help them get competent out there, because they have the snowboarding skills. It's just the sled skills and the getting around skills, I think, that are the biggest issue sometimes.
That's where community, I think, plays a big role. You know, if you are active in your community and you go to events in your community, you attend premieres, and let's say you are a girl who you really want to get into the backcountry and you've saved up your money and you want to get a truck and a sled, and you're kind of looking around the room wide-eyed being like, I don't really know the pro girls to ask if I can film. Like, talk to a couple other girls, and there's going to be another girl in there who's like, I'm into splitting, but I'm really interested in getting to sledding. And like, I'm friends though with kind of Dara. And then you kind of like through attending things that are like, if you were active in the community, things like kind of unfold, you know, and also just not being afraid to kind of every once in a while, like be a little keen, you know what I mean? Send somebody a DM, because sometimes that's all it takes. Like I look at Sam Tuff, who's literally just a super fan of snowboarding and has grinded so hard for her position in filming right now. And someone like Aaron Leyland's like, yeah, you know what? I'll take you out. Like tomorrow I got a day off. Let's go. Yeah. And so, you know, shoot your shot, you know, nothing's going to happen if your thoughts just stay in your head, but it is intimidating because, you know, it's a real space when you're entering the backcountry with people though, because there are so many good days. a lot of people's livelihood is on the line on those good days. So it's kind of hard to take somebody. So my advice would be like, go to the community events and make sure you're dialed on the avalanche first aid and safety, so that is already out of the way. So people know when you show up to the lot, you got everything dialed in that sense, and people can trust that you understand how a beacon runs and all that stuff. And it's a nice little checkbox. Like, okay, they're not going to be the greatest sledder, but they're aware of the other hazards out here.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so many variables that go into bringing someone to the backcountry, and it's hard, and it's I think it's scary for a lot of people to just ask. And that's the thing, though. It's like when people people like Leyland are like so down and so helpful. It's so nice.
Yeah.
I actually would like a sled clinic this year, Leyland. Please and thank you.
And I think that like it would be a disservice to overlook what our friend Jeff Keenan brought to the women's space with his time and compassion and how slow he would move and his patience, like he's taken so many people, men and women, and he's done it all, but he's mentored so many people how to be in the backcountry, how to get clips safely. And it is wild to see, what he's done for snowboarding, because it's impossible to put into words just like what he's helped shape in this community. Absolutely love that guy.
Yeah, me too. To Jeff.
Did you got a couple good days out there, a couple good seasons filming with him.
Oh yeah. Hold on. Gotta have a little drink for the guy.
Yeah, cheers, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, patient man. The most patient, I would say.
Do you think he bottled it up secretly though? Like he would get home and just be to Leanne, he would just fucking let it out. Like, oh, I was with Dara today, I can't do it again. The next morning, hey Dara, how you doing?
I mean, I'm sure he had some moments. Like there was a couple days with me and Dara. I was like, sorry, Jeff.
He's like, it's fine. He's in his helmet. Fuck.
Yeah, god damn it. But yeah, it was so crazy after he passed, just seeing like how many people he touched and how many people he helped, and just I don't know, when you're real, like was so close with Jeff, and I said this to Leanne after he passed, I was like, I know that we knew how special he was and how incredible and how lucky we were to be in his orbit, but like I didn't know everybody knew that, and I didn't know everybody felt like that. Like it's just, he was so modest and so humble that like, yeah, he just like was this epic light of a human that like just was so genuine and real to like everybody he met. I think it's like so rare and so special, and we're all so lucky that we got the time that we did with him. But I think that's my biggest fear for this winter is like, what are we gonna do without Jeff? Like he really he is the cornerstone of our crew, and he just helped everybody so much. He's a guider and a leader and mentor. Like we all look up to him so much, and I think that's going to be my like kind of guiding light this year, is just like, what would Jeff do and how to move in the mountains the way that he did, as much as he taught me. But yeah, it's going to be hard. It's going to be a really weird year without him.
It is going to be a hard year without him, and just the snowboard world losing Pash too and stuff. It's like they're irreplaceable individuals who did so much for snowboarding. And like, that little influencer discussion we have where I get heated about like caring about what snowboarding looks like and feels like comes from people like Alex and Jeff, who, Alex gets a big role at North Face, but he's a snowboarder batting for snowboarding first with the role of a team manager or brand manager at the North Face. Jeff is about everybody falling in love with snowboarding, and he wants everyone to go and have the best time ever on a snowboard. But Jeff's got a fucking opinion on what's fucking dope,
Yeah,
like he's
about him.
Like him and I, like we both were passionate, very passionate snowboarders with opinions, and when it would be so fun to kind of get into it with him, because he has an opinion. He's not afraid to fucking let you know, like, like that guy's doing it good, or that guy's kind of like, what is he doing now? Like, and I loved him about that, because he was like the ultimate fan of snowboarding. Mm-hmm. And all he was trying to do the whole time he was here was like build this space as big as he could. And he let, if you wanted to be in snowboarding, he let you in, you know? And it fucking breaks my heart that I wasn't at that, service at the Fairmont. Like I was on my honeymoon and I did have a nice night. I spent a nice evening with Chelsea, and we kind of dedicated to him and had some wine on the stars were out, and I just got to share. I actually lost my aunt too at that time. So it was just a nice night to like share stories about those two. And my wife's just so incredible where she just kind of sit there and listen. And I would like talk about Jeff stories or my Auntie Deb. And it's like, yeah, he's irreplaceable, man. He's done more for snowboarding than any amount of fucking likes, follows can ever put into words. Like what Jeff Keenan and Alex did for snowboarding is fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, I think to be that kind of person that like just puts everybody on their back to lift them up is like really special, and that's what both of those guys did. And yeah, I think like, yeah, sometimes when we talk about Jeff, it's obviously like how kind he was and all these things, but like, yeah, he had an opinion though.
I love that about
and
him.
You still had to like prove yourself. Like it wasn't just like all hugs and candy, you know. Like he would tell you if something sucked, and he would tell you how it needed to be done right. And I think a big reason like I loved being in the backcountry with him so much was because I trusted him so wholeheartedly, and I really trusted like his take on my snowboarding and his take on the mountains. Like if he told me to ride something, I'm like, yeah, just tell me where to go. Like I would have followed that man anywhere.
When I first moved on the Jeff topic, because why not? But like we moved to town, me, my friend Andrew, Jake Kuzik, Chris, and there's a group of us, 4 of us moved from Winnipeg. And Jeff's giving boards to Andrew and my friend Chris at this time. And they would occasionally like snap a dyno, and they would go over to his backyard and grab some from like the shed that are like kind of used and whatever. And Jeff would pop by and check up on Andrew. And he made our crew, he was like one of the first people to be like, to us, he was like this super pro and the coolest guy ever. He's Jeff Keenan, you know, he's in Sandbox, he's in Skids. We knew who the fuck he was, and he started one of the coolest companies ever. And my friends are getting free boards from him. And he was like, you guys are fucking cool. Like, keep doing what you guys, and I don't think I'm cool. I mean, maybe Andrew thinks he's cool because of whatever. Chris doesn't think that, you know, our crew never really thought that. And I think that he was one of the first one to be like, keep doing what you're doing. Jake Kuzik, you're fucking dope. Like he saw in all of us how much we loved snowboarding, and he was just kind of like, keep pushing. And every time I'd bump into him, he always kind of like made me feel like, don't leave snowboarding. It's a cool space, and like you're sweet, dude, and I like hanging out with you. You should stick around. Like, you know, like let's dig next year at like Camp of Champions, and let's set up a cool flat bar. And like I liked your back lip lap. And it, without me knowing, but digging, it was just like somebody who was always in the background who made me feel like keep going, you know? And so now I always think about that more so since he's passed, about like with airtime and what I want airtime to feel. And I'm like, I want it to feel like if Jeff was looking down, he'd be like, that's a cool brand, you know? Like it's inclusive and it's fun and it's lighthearted, but like we still want it to look fucking dope, you know? Like, you know, like, cause Jeff had this perfect balance of like, with his footage even, like, it was chaos, but it was fucking beautiful. Yeah. Like, you know,
it was so raw. His boarding was so
raw.
Raw.
He was the definition of that.
Yeah. And yeah, he's very pure. Everything about that man, pretty pure.
And it's impossible to not give like Leanne her flowers too here, because like Leanne, it seemed like at the peak of her career, could have done what many would do, which is like, you know, sit on your cash and have a good time, buy a couple houses and go to Hawaii and surf and chill. But like she decided to put like 400,000 projects on her back,
yep.
Whether it was like a women's snowboard camp and, you know, all these film projects. Just how much has Leanne done for female snowboarding, like in that space? God.
Yeah. So much. Like she's been, the biggest, I think, influence and mentor in my life and my career, like hands down. Her and Jeff have always been like my port in the storm and the people I call. Like when he passed, I was like, dude, those are the people that I call when I'm in trouble, when I have a big decision to make, like when I just want to talk shit on someone. Like
They're your wall.
They were my wall. And I mean, obviously I still have Leanne, and I'm so grateful for that. And I hope that I can return a little bit of that, of like what Jeff has given to me back to her in Khyber. But yeah, I think it's so special, like the career that she's had and how many facets of it that there have been, from like the rail jam Pelosi days to like, I mean, yeah, competition Pelosi into the backcountry, big mountain, and through every single part of that, like the one thread is that she's always been doing something to give back. And she's always, I think, had like the heart and soul of women's snowboarding, like at the core of what she's like. I feel like that's her North Star, is protecting and projecting that part of snowboarding, which I think is really, really admirable. And I think Jeff was such an incredible partner in the way that he just really like wanted to help her succeed in so many ways. And I think they were just such incredible partners in every sense of the word. And I'm really proud of Leanne. I think to keep Full Moon going into this winter is, you know, I think it's going to be hard for all of us, and it's going to be different. It's going to be challenging, but like just her commitment to finishing it for Jeff, and damn it, I was doing so good. But yeah, I just have, I mean, all the respect in the world for her, for everything she's going through. It would be so easy to just crawl into a cave and not come out. And she's making her North Star doing this for Jeff. And I think we're all going to try to do that this year.
100%. That's exactly what we're going to do. We're all going to go out there this year and do, I think that's a good, anybody who's listening to this podcast is like, if you don't know who Jeff is, spend a little time. He's done a podcast with Effin' Rad. You know, he started Dinosaurs Will Die, big part of Skids, early Sandbox, and helped put so many people on the map by injecting confidence into people who may or may not have had it at certain points of their career. By just doing nothing more than just being a person that when you would talk to him, he would just listen. And the way he would digest what you're saying, he always had this gift when you would talk to him, that anything you were saying, he was listening to it wholeheartedly. And he would never like overshoot the like suggestion or undershoot. It's like this perfectly balanced like reply all the time. It was just genuine, you know? Yeah. And man, am I going to miss seeing him in the parking lot and just the little things like, did you get a clip? And me saying classic Jody thing, like, I got a stupid front three. No one's going to like it. He's like, no, dude, your front threes are sick, dude. It's going to be dope. Like, it's just like such a, he uplifted me and shaped me way more than I knew. And when he passed, I knew that. And man, I'm so lucky I crossed paths with him. And I mean, that's like a good thing to like, just think about and ponder every once in a while. Is like those special people that are in your life that are your, when you need to, you said that if you had anything going on, you would call Leanne and Jeff, and they were like, and a lot of us forget, we think that those people are going to be there forever, but like they're so special. And so I said on the last podcast with JF that like my friend one time called me from Vancouver and he was like, yo, we should link up. And I was like, I didn't make time for him. And then he got home and he got in a car accident and he passed away. And I was like, I always regretted that. And it's like, you know, you do want to put that time and energy into seeing your good friends because you just don't know how life's going to unfold. And another thing is like when they do pass, like it's best to live your life as what would they want you to do? You know, like what would Jeff want you to do? He'd kind of want you to go out there and like, go into the backcountry and have some fun and have some laughs and keep going, you know? Mm-hmm. Jeff would fly upside down 100, he would roll down entire faces upside down and get to the bottom and then go back up. You know what I mean? Like that's his shit. You know what I mean? And his laugh would be insane. Yeah, totally. Like
I have this one video of him from when we were in Revy filming with Victor, and he did like a run and I was filming him on my phone, and he comes down and he was like, what was that? I grabbed mute. Who grabs mute? Just like caked in snow, and I'm just like, oh,
I've seen the video. It's great.
So good. But I think I'm going to do some mutes for Jeff this year because it just kills me.
I think everybody should go out there and do some slashes for Jeff and all your friends that have, we all have had friends that pass and loved ones, and it's been a rough year all in all for a lot of people. I mean, even Martin getting stage 4 cancer and stuff, and it's a fragile life that we all live, and it's best to navigate it as a very, we're all lucky to be here. Mm-hmm. So and another thing is to I hate to beat a dead horse, and I'm not that fucking guy, but like look yourself in the mirror and be like, life flies by. Yeah.
It
and
does.
like really, really ask yourself if you're doing things that you want to be doing. And if you're not, like work towards not doing what you're doing and get out of those situations, whatever it is, like a bad relationship, or if you're partying too much, or if you're just working some dead end job and you want to move out west and explore like being in the mountains, like do those things. Mm-hmm. Like, because it fucking flies by. Flies.
Yeah.
And Jeff and Leanne seem to have it all figured out. Back to like you saying that like when you saw them together, it was just this special thing. That was one of the first relationships I saw in snowboarding. And I saw two people who loved each other so much. They were at every premiere together. They were in the line for Peak Chair every day. Like, they were just this undeniable couple that was just rooting for each other. And they were such a good example in like a mountain town to like, when you find a good person, to not fuck it up. You know? Like,
yeah, totally. Yeah, they I really look up to them in that regard as well. They had it wasn't all roses. I saw some good fights, but that's kind of the dream, have that partner you can share everything with.
That is the dream. If we pivot a little bit here, moving along from our wonderful and fucking epic friend Jeff, who we could do another toast to that motherfucker.
Quan.
Yeah, forever. Yeah. Cheers to all of our friends and family that we've lost, fucking so many epic people along the road. Then you get to almost 40 and you're like, when you start losing those people, you're like, fuck. Like, you don't think it's going to happen.
I know, it sucks. It's an unfortunate part of life, but
yeah, it's reality. Moving along here a little bit, pivoting to how much pressure does Spencer put on herself? You went to the Olympics, which is the pinnacle, you could say, or some people would say that, and you go to the Olympics, and there's kind of some bullshit. Well, you went twice, but there's this fucking windstorm, and like the whole thing's a little bit of a shit show. How much pressure do you put on yourself to perform in those situations, and how frustrating is it when you are thrown into a blizzard?
Yeah, that games was pretty terrible. That for me, I think was like, it was definitely the nail in the coffin for Olympics for me. I was like, I'm done. I don't want to support this anymore. I don't want to support this anymore. This is like, I think even the way that I acted at that event when that all happened was like, this isn't the culture that I want. Like, it's like FIS is turning me into like a rider that I don't want to be. Like, this is like nothing. No, this is not it. Which, yeah, just like, it was just so crazy. Like, we got delayed the day before because it was windy. They were like, it's not safe. We're not going to run qualifiers. So they postponed us, and so that already, like, they're like, hey, no qualifiers. We're just doing a 40 or a 30 woman final. It's like, okay, we waited 4 years for this event. The least you can do is give us the event. And then we get up there, and it's like twice as windy as the day before.
Like, how windy? What are we talking gusts to?
What did the news? There was like a news like thing on CBC. I think it was like over 100 kilometers an hour. It was gusting.
I remember watching that shit live and seeing, like, before you guys would drop, like, just because they film like the course long lens style, and you're like, well, nobody wants to. You're going into the lodge for a hot chocolate on that day.
It was so gnarly. And Korea is very, very cold. It is a cold place. It was crazy. Like normally, like the rider that I had been up until that point was I always said something. I always was like the annoying person that didn't shut up and like that was standing up for dumb shit. Sometimes dumb shit, sometimes valid. But I remember very specifically that day being like, this is a fist contest. They don't give a fuck about the riders. I'm going to get myself worked up and try to get things changed, and nothing's going to change. And then I'm going to be pissed off, and then I'm going to have to ride. I'm going to ride bad. Like, I'm not going to do that to myself today. Like, I remember like having this conversation with myself and being like, I'm just going to focus on myself. And if we ride, and I'm going to hope for the best. Like, that was like literally all I thought. But then we did practice, and I was like, this is psychotic. I didn't even make it through the course. Not one run. And not necessarily because I was falling or like the wind was blowing me or anything. It was because the girls ahead of me would deck and then be like laying in the middle of the jump. I'm like, okay, can't hit that one. Every practice run, I was like, I didn't get through the course once. And I was like, there's no way they're going to do this. Like, they can't. This is like, anyone who watched this practice knows that this is not safe. Like, they can't do this. And I get to the top and they've already dropped a rider. And I was like, oh, it's over. Like, and I know that about FIST, that like once there's a score on the board, that contest is running. They're not going to pull the pin on it. And it was just so sad to see like the structure of that event. Like, they don't do riders meetings, they do coaches meetings. So the riders actually never have a say. It's like the coaches talk about what the riders want. I'm like, I don't really understand this. Like, why are people who don't ride the course talking?
And who's your coach there at this time that you're talking to?
The national team coach.
Okay.
So that at that time it would have been Elliot, well, it still is Elliot Catton and Chris Witwicky. Great guys. But they didn't even do I don't even think they did a coaches meeting on that day. They would have done one the night before. Whereas like, you know, at X Games or US Open, when conditions are that bad, they have a riders meeting. Just at the top, like, what do you guys want to do? How you feeling? And we're typically not given a choice, really. It's not like, hey, we could postpone this. Like, the TV's okay. Like, they'll do it tomorrow. It's usually, if you guys really don't feel safe, we can cancel, or you can ride. What do you want to do?
Up to you.
Up to you.
And then there's always somebody that's
There's
like, let's
always
ride.
someone who's like, just go, I got this. Like,
damn, do you? And then they're the one who leaves in a body bag. You're like, see you fucking fuck.
always. I've been that person before. I have. But yeah, that day it was just so sad. And I just remember watching the first like 5 or 6 runs and just honestly being scared for people's safety and just being really sad for our sport, that I know how hard that field of women had worked for that opportunity and how much the entire field had progressed since Sochi, and we were robbed of that opportunity to show what women's snowboarding could do and how far it had come. And like, yeah, it was just scary. It was terrible.
It was a bad look for snowboarding.
It's terrible. It was a bad look for FIT. And I was really happy that the media like kind of hung FIS out to dry on that. That was like the one silver lining, because I don't think they'd ever really gotten shit before. It was always just from snowboarding or from the riders. It was never like on a global scale. And the global media like really kind of hung them out to dry, which was nice to see. And I think it did spark a little bit of change for the future. At least I hope it did. I haven't done a FIS contest since, but...
Was that your last major contest?
No, that was my last FIS contest. I did... Because I actually was competing there with a blown knee. I blew my knee at X Games 10 days before and bruised my heel. So I was getting my heel frozen every morning.
Oh my God, what was going through your head the night before this Olympian? Oh my God. Oh no.
It was terrible. I was like, this is not ideal.
Standing on that drop-in with a banged up knee and ankle and seeing the snow going sideways, you're like, oh, this is such a bad idea.
The worst thing was, oh my God, Anna, somehow just by like luck of the draw, Gasser was dropping right after me, and we ride. She's one of my best friends. We ride together all the time. And I came up. Well, I actually had to stop on the second jump, like the takeoff of the second jump, because it was like a tornado on the takeoff. I was like, I'm gonna die. Like I'm gonna not even. There's zero chance of me making the landing on this. Like I pulled out, and her coach was like, dude, Spencer stopped on the jump. Like she didn't even hit it. And Anna was like, uh-oh. Because I'm like way faster than her. Like when we ride jumps together, like our speed difference is like insane. Because I'm like 3 of her. She's itty bitty. And so she was like, oh, I got to go as fast as possible. And so she like lands the first jump and she's just like pumping into the second one, does this frontside 7 and almost misses the entire landing.
Oh no.
And so yeah, that was the craziest thing about the weather was like I had this gnarly uphill wind, and one run later she had such a gnarly downhill wind that she like overshot the entire jump.
Oh, that's the worst.
And she like got to the bottom, she's like, why did you stop? I thought it was slow. I was like, it was slow for my run. But yeah, just it was such a shame, but I think at least we got big air, and that was a really hard event for me. I think just with like my injuries at that event, and then just all the feelings from slopestyle, it was like a push just to compete. Like a big part of me wanted to just drop out, and I'm glad that I didn't, like just to see it through. And then it was like the first time I think I'd ever been sad that I made finals.
That's not a good feeling. You're
I was like, oh
no.
Kind of don't know if I want to do that, but.
Because it was just bad the whole time.
Well, no, big air wasn't. We had good conditions for big air, and the jump was good. It was just, I think me personally, like I was done. Like I had a blown knee. I was freezing, like getting lidocaine injected into my heel every day to ride. And just I was just tapped mentally and all the things. But I'm glad that I saw it through, and I'm grateful that I got to be a part of that final. That was kind of one of the first events we saw Zoe. She just switched back 9, I think, and got 3rd. And that was the Jamie Anna battle for first, which was pretty epic. And Gasser did front double 10 and cab double 10, I think. Yeah, I think. That's what won that one. And just to be there for her and be there at the bottom when she won, it was really special. Did
Jamie do her cab 10 double?
No, I think Jamie did cab double 9 and front double 10.
She did.
Yeah,
I remember.
And then it was the last run, and Jamie was in first, and Anna had to land. And she did cab double 10, I think, and took the W.
Clutch.
Yeah, big air queen.
All you guys big air queen.
Oh, I'm not, but Gasser's definitely the big air queen.
I mean, you've been hitting a lot of big park jumps since you were like on Nike and stuff like that. Like you've hit. What's the biggest jump that you've ever hit that you were like, fuck? You've hit some big ones over in Europe.
Yeah, the Never Not jump with Nike, I think, was the biggest. It was like over 100 feet to the knuckle. It was big. I was real scared of that jump. It had like one of those weird kind of mellow long in runs, and I was watching the guys forever, and I was like, I don't know, like the speed, everyone's doing so many different turns. It was super hard to decipher like what the speed was. And you can't trust Peitu because he pops so hard.
Great pop.
Yeah, great pop.
Great pop.
And then I remember this French rider, I think his name was Jerome, who was on Nike. I had been standing there for probably a half an hour just watching people and just being like, I don't know. And he goes, oh, can you sit down already? You're stressing me out. Like, you're not going to hit it. Just sit down. And I was like, oh, I'm going to hit it. Fuck you.
New guy?
Yeah,
like,
shut up, Jerome. You're not hitting it.
Shut up, Jerome. That was good.
But
oh my God.
I hit it, and it was a little flat landing, but it was
what
good.
was the drive behind hitting this, aka what was the Nike paycheck? Like how much Nike pay in peak Nike years? Let's go.
The Nike check was really good. It was over 100. Maybe like
damn.
Yeah, and really really good incentives. Like For a contest kid, like there was no travel. Travel was built in, but then very good incentives.
And like probably like really nice like hotels and stuff.
Oh yeah. Like the first couple years they flew. I actually got one out of the deal, but I think Annie and like Gigi and that crew, when it was Nike snowboarding, there was the very beginning, they had a company-wide mandate where athletes had to be flown business everywhere. That's
so dope.
So I remember I had one trip when I first started where they flew us to Norway business, and it was like me, Mason Aguirre, and Matt Ladley in business on Lufthansa. And literally the first 20 minutes of the flight, the lady cut Mason off.
What do you mean cut him off?
Of drinking.
Oh God. He's like, wait, free anything?
Yeah.
What does business look like? Is that like the place where you get like the bed and you can like lay down or something?
It was like the pod with like the lay down bed, like not like a room. Like that's like first, I think. I've never flown first, but
it's called first class.
Well, there is a first class on some airlines.
Like a first, like that sounds nice.
That's like the top of the top.
Oh yeah, I saw Jennifer Anderson on like some like kind of commercial the other day. Like, oh, the United Emirates.
Oh yeah, they got the rooms, the hotel rooms.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
But yeah, no, it was the Nike days were pretty all time. It was just really, really crazy to be a part of a brand like that is so much bigger than snowboarding. But then I think just to see like the team that they built internally to kind of foster snowboarding within the company was what made it so special. Like,
well said.
Yeah. Because I think,
that's everything.
It is.
Like the people are everything, you know? If you hire good people who care about snowboarding and are just wholeheartedly just good fucking people, like that obviously can do their job incredible. You know, you need people that understand marketing and sales, and you need your, chief of finance to understand finance,
Mm-hmm.
but like if they come from the culture, fucking rights.
Yeah. And that was like that internal crew was pretty all time. Like Craig Hill, Bobby Meeks, Dave Driscoll, John Weaver, like just people like who had really been in the industry for a long time and really cared. And I mean, it didn't hurt that they signed like every big dog.
Yeah.
It was like in the day, like Nike snowboarding, like I was 6'0", I was like B team, but Nike snowboarding was like pretty savage team.
Oh, they were stacked. I was like E team. I was getting free product and stuff.
Oh, boots.
Bobby would send me boxes back then, and they were like so fat though. Like, and for me, I was like 19 years old, and I don't think I was really getting paid much from any. I think Electric was paying me some, like maybe make $1,000 a month or whatever. But just to get like fresh Nikes, and like shirts and everything, and like Nike sends you a box, dude. You're getting like 10 pairs of shoes, like 10 shirts, and I was like, this is so dope. I always wanted that Nike sticker, but then I swapped teams to Adidas. But like I remember seeing you at Camp of Champions, which is also another big part of your like snowboarding. I feel like we had so many good memories out there. We coached together for one summer together, and I think that was when you were on 6.0, or I don't know, like it was a peak of your career, the time that we coached together, because I remember being like, damn, I'm coaching with Spencer O'Brien. She's kind of like the GOAT right now, like one of the best.
But
you were.
That was really fun though, that summer.
Don't
I think that was my last summer coaching.
Pat yourself on the back. You're a ledge.
Dude, we had some terrible campers.
Yeah, of course, there's a lot of kids out there that are just brutal.
I had to carry that girl like out of the glacier.
Yeah, there's definitely.
That was the worst.
There's lots of kids that go to camp because their parents drop them off at camp.
Yeah.
And they're hoping that they're like, hey, my kid's fucked up. Like, you guys deal with this for a couple weeks. Like, and like, well, they're fucked up because the way that you're trying to fix them is to give them to somebody else to fix. It's like, you got to fix what's going on at home.
Oh my, yeah, totally. I know that poor girl. She was a little too young, I think, to be at camp. She like really missed her parents, and I just remember it was the first, she had never ridden a T-bar before. And we were the day, she kind of got the hang of it throughout the day, but then she was so tired at the end of the day that like we got on the T-bar on the way out, and I think not even halfway up, she just went, I can't. And just dead sailored. And I scooped her under one arm. I was like, I ain't walking out of this glacier. There's absolutely no way. And I would just, that last hill up the Horseman T-bar, I was like, please.
The groin
please.
pull is unreal.
And she's like, let me go. I'm dragging behind. I'm like,
No.
I think I made her download. I was like, you gotta take the chair down. But yeah, it's sad. It's sad the glacier's gone and no more COC, but
it's definitely sad. It was a huge part of, it was a huge chapter of snowboarding, since Craig Kelly Camp, COC, like all the old videos, and since the 80s all the way to, 2017 it made it till or something like that?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. And like that, for me, that was like, I begged my parents to send me. I was like, God, this is how I'm going to make it. You got to send me to COC. And I think I even wanted to go to the Brome Ridge camp too, the pipe camp that they
Super
used to
pipe
have.
camp.
Super pipe camp, yeah. And then that kind of folded, and then I was like, hey, COC, I gotta go. And my parents never had money to send me. But then the next year I ended up getting a job when I was like 17.
Well, because wasn't there MGT snowboard camp too up there?
I don't think MGT ever did them on the glacier. They were more during the winter.
Okay.
But that was like Leanne and Joanna and Robin put those ones on. And I did a bit of stuff with them. They kind of, I feel like when I was like really like young and coming up, they weren't really happening yet. Maybe they started right around that time, but.
Okay, just because there's so many overlooked women that have destroyed that kind of jump slopestyle course, who are some girls that you used to do that contest circuit with that kind of deserve some flowers? Because I remember at camp riding like those big jumps, and there was just like European girls showing up. There was like so many girls that would be like kind of on for a couple years, and then like you wouldn't hear them again, or like they just didn't have like what's her name, Possum.
Oh, Possum.
Like she would come to camp and like
Yeah.
crush, and then like Steffi Luxton and
Yeah.
Possum came together that one like a couple summers, and I remember being like, damn, like there was like a lot of like, and they didn't, to me, seem like they blew up to that same like level. I mean, Steffi's obviously kind of killing it now,
Yeah,
but
totally. Yeah, there's been like, so many girls. I feel like they both have gotten their flowers to an extent, but maybe not as many as they should. But like Claudia Medlova, like pretty sure she's first woman to do a double back rodeo and first woman to do a front double 10. And
see, that's why we asked. This is knowledge that people need to know.
yes, and just the sweetest woman you'll ever meet. She's the cutest. Yeah, I think she definitely got like love, but like I think she could have gotten more. And it's cool. She's with Battalion and they still support her. She's got a baby now and she's married, and she's still riding for Battalion. So props to them for keeping her on. And I think Annie too. Like Annie to me is one of the best from my generation. Like the best. Definitely like she to me was like the new age Natasha. Like just a technician.
Who's this?
Annie Rukuyarvi.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, like, and I just think
I wasn't sure if you were saying Annie.
Oh yeah, I know. Everyone thinks it's Annie, but it's Annie, the Finnish destroyer. But yeah, I think for me those two girls are just, they were like two of my favorites to shred with too. Like I just loved being around them, and I'm so stoked I got to do so many competitive years with them. But there's so many of the people that compete in slopestyle like don't have support. It's so crazy, and they rely on the support of the national team, and it's sad because like especially now like the risk that you're taking to be a competitive slopestyle and big air athlete is insane. It's a lot more than when I was doing it. I was doing 900s and 720s.
Yeah, but yes, totally. But it is, yeah, you're right, actually. It is a big risk. You're going double corks and you come up on, like, it's a blizzard, and you're going double and it's a knuckle, and you're like, you got to ask yourself, like, what you're doing these things. What was motivating you this whole time to progress at the level that you progressed at? I mean, being one of the best women's freestyle snowboarding, who had one of the longest careers, like, what was that burning inner voice constantly saying when you wanted to give up probably multiple fucking times?
I think for me, I've just like, there's just always been like kind of feelings that I've chased in snowboarding. And and for sure there's been times when it's like, I want to win, like I want to beat this person, like whatever, which never ends well. Terrible motivator. I'm not a good
What was his name on the drop-in again? That was like, you ain't even gonna hit the jump.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you, Greg.
Oh, yeah, Jerome.
Jerome.
Yeah, so maybe it is. Maybe
Fuck
vengeance.
you, Jerome.
Maybe
is dope.
vengeance is a good motivator. But I mean, I think like, well, yeah, I think that's part of it, right? Is like proving yourself. And I think as a female rider at that time, like wanting respect and to feel like you belong was like a big thing for me growing up. I just like wanted to, you know, to be seen and respected by my peers and, you know, kind of have a seat at the table. And that was like it was a grind. And I think once I kind of got there, I had to reframe like why I was doing it and what was driving me. And I think that ended up being a little bit more of like how I wanted to show up as a snowboarder and how, you know, because a lot of the time it was like, I could just keep doing switchback 5 to front 7 and I'll keep being on the podium and I'll keep winning. But it's like, I don't want to do that run for 15 years. Like, I want to progress and I want to be better and I want to see see what I'm capable of. And I think for like the competition side, it was like, I think I can count on one hand how many runs at a competition actually felt like complete and felt like that was it. That was like truly like what I was trying to do. And that feeling is so incredible because it's almost like you're watching yourself snowboard. It's like a full muscle memory, like all the preparation, all the practice has come together for that 30 seconds and everything aligned. And I think that pure feeling of like presence and like, I guess a lot of people not like flow, whatever you want to call it. It's like, that's the feeling that I chased is like, I want more runs like that. And it's the hardest thing. Cause like I said, I think maybe 5 times if I'm lucky.
What was like the peak? The one that were like one of your favorite moments in your contest history that you're like, it all came together and I am proud of that run.
I think there's 2 for sure. I think the very best one was World Championships in Oslo in 2012. I got like super smoked in semifinals. Like I hooked an edge and ran into a takeoff. Like going so fast. I felt like I got hit by a bus. It was.
You must have been so bummed on you're like, I don't belong.
I was like, help. That was a wall. And I actually ended up getting more lidocaine. Got my back like frozen.
What the fuck is lidocaine? I never got that.
It's like what they give you at the dentist to freeze your tooth.
Oh, fuck, dude.
You need a doctor to give it to you.
Okay.
We're talking real sports here, Jody. We're doping. No, but I remember I really didn't want to do it. That was the first time I'd only ever done it the 2 times, but it's just like they just freeze the area so you can't feel the pain. And then you can snowboard because you don't feel the pain. You feel it after. You don't feel it in that moment. And they were like, you're not hurt. Like you didn't tear anything or break anything. You're just sore. So like if we take away the soreness, you should feel at least like you can ride. And I was at the point where like I couldn't do my own bindings up. Like my TM was doing my bindings up because I couldn't bend over. And I won. I didn't practice either. My team manager was like, don't practice. You have like 2 runs in you if you're lucky. And I was like, but I have to. And so I didn't do my run until the contest. It was a crazy day. Like it was just like everything was up against me. Like I don't even know like what anybody else did at that event. Like I was so tunnel vision and just like, and yeah, like looking at that, I'm like, why? Like, why didn't I just go, no, I'm hurt. I'm not going to ride. But it's whatever that feeling is when you're in that competitive world, you're just like, you're so hungry for it. And you push so hard through so many crazy things and so many injuries. And I just remember like right before my last run, I like had this like moment of clarity and I just like was like full zen, just like, okay. Let's just fucking go. Whatever. And that run was like pretty flawless. and bolt. And I just remember coming into the last jump and snapping front 7 and just kind of being like, this is such a Hail Mary. and I stomped and rode away. And it's the first time and the only time in my life I've ever claimed. I like double arms in the air, like just so elated that like I think not even like that I like thought that I won or anything. It was just like that I overcame like all the obstacles that were in my way to get to that moment.
You're like, I tacoed on a jump, like just fucking
like
I front scorped on a jump before this fucking win.
I was such a wreck. Like it was insane. But yeah, like that one was really, really special. And yeah, cool. Cause like Oslo, like Norway, people love snowboarding so much. And they're like, that was like the first time I'd ever heard like a big crowd before, like piping up snowboarding. So that was really cool. And then I think one of the other ones probably maybe like there's a couple like when I won X Games for sure, and then US Open. There was one US Open the year before when I was just starting to do back nines, but they weren't like super nice, so the judges like were not rewarding me at all for them. And I remember at US Open I like kind of dialed my run back but kept the back 9 in. So I like went back to like switch back 5, front 7, back 9, and had like a good top rail section, like laced it. And
that was Blunt Pretzel, I feel like, in that round.
Yeah. And was so hyped. And they like put me in 3rd. And I remember even Anna, I love Anna so much for this interview. She was like, this is stupid. Spencer beat me.
And you're like, yes.
I was like, thanks, sister.
Because it means so much. It means more to a rider than anybody can fathom to have their peer like be like, you deserve that W. And you're like, that it makes the fucking loss feel so much like you're like, okay, that thank you.
Yeah,
like
before, and then to do like that, for her to do that on like a public stage too is like, I was like, wow, you really have my back. And that's like, it was so nice of her. And yeah, and it softened that blow for me because I was so demoralized. I was like, dude, what am I doing wrong? Like I'm trying so hard to push things forward, and no, it's not perfect, but neither was Torstein's first triple or Mark's. Like, you know, no one doing the first things is like, it's never perfect right at the beginning. Like, and it doesn't move like I wanted to just go back to doing my old run. Cause I was like, well, why am I trying to like do something different if you're just going to keep fucking me? Like, this sucks. But then when Anna did that, I was like, hey, no, this is like, that's what it's about. And that's
way
the opinion
more
that
females in that space who are doing competitive snowboarding saw that back 9 and got way more inspo. And anybody who knows anything about snowboarding, it's like the back 9 is a very respectable trick. You know what I mean? Like the back 7, Bryn and Jack the other day were talking about this. They're like, back 7's not even a trick. Like it's a straight air. Like, but a back 9 is like a banging trick. You know what I mean? It's so much harder. Your access isn't on the back 7. You have to be trying like a back 9 or you land in a Manny. Mm-hmm. Like, and the one that you did, I feel like I remember it fairly well. Like, it's not bad. It's like a sick back 5 to 7 grab. Like, you held for the vast majority of it, and then you land fucking good.
Yeah, I landed good. I like had a little
that was an
flail
underscore
in there,
for sure.
But yeah, that was frustrating. But
was that one of the worst beats? Like one of the worst? Like they're like, yeah, you didn't do so good, and you're like, fuck you guys. Like, or has that like been something that has been happening in contest snowboarding a lot throughout your career?
I mean, yeah, there's always those times. When
Is there one judge in particular we should throw into the fucking bus? Who was blowing it back then?
Plead the fifth on that one.
I don't know. I'm now as a judge who judged you last year.
Yes, true.
I can speak on this.
I just say you.
Yeah. But it's nice because as a judge, you just go, I'm not the only person in here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have a scapegoat where it's like, it'd be kind of sick if you were like the only judge. That's what I was thinking.
Well, I will say one discrepancy I had with a judge was Guillaume. Sorry in advance, Guillaume, if you're listening to this.
Let's go.
This is a long time ago too. Like we're talking like 15 years ago at least. And he was saying to me that he didn't care if someone reverted in a run. Like if you landed back 5 and then reverted because you wanted to do a front 7. As long as you landed, rode away, reverted cleanly, he wouldn't dock you points. And I was like, I got into like a full fight with him about it. I was like, that means you don't have enough tricks. Like flat out, like you just suck.
Unless, let's say you go like, switch back 5. And then in the middle, you were like E-Man Anderson and you're like nollie back 180 on flat ground. And it's like a thing. You know what I mean? Like you make it, you put, you know what I mean? No way, that'd be insane. Imagine like Dusty Hendrickson doing like, back 10 and then does a nollie back 1 and then does like a cab 12.
If there was like a roller or something.
Nah, from flat would be sick too.
I don't know.
A revert is a different story. Just like only person who could pull that off is like MFM or like no one else.
just a revert on.
Like you can't
even an ollie.
You can't do the back 5 and then be like, I don't want to hit the next one switch and then just do a revert and then do a front 7. I know what you mean.
Because especially back then, like that day of snowboarding, like.
No, you were on the right side there. Guillaume, what the fuck, dude?
What the fuck? But no, I
love
mean,
the guy. I'm kidding.
I don't envy your guys' jobs at all.
I don't envy it either. Now that I'm the more I do it, the more I realize the scores that you present, whether they're top 3 or whatever, it's the team managers look at those scores like they hold weight. So you can't just not take that like so serious. Mm-hmm. And you have to be somebody who is so finger on the pulse with what the riders kind of value and feel collectively. And you kind of need to know what's dope at the current times. And like you were saying, the revert at that exact time, and it still isn't, by the way, but it's like, it's not a respected thing among the riders. So the judge, who's supposed to be, a person that speaks towards the riders, you can't just overlook those things. Yeah. And having somebody overlook it just means like, maybe it was time for, people need to get fired from their jobs sometimes. It's unfortunate, but it's true. Like I've had conversations with people before about snowboarding, and because I feel like most of the time anybody's opinion is wrong other than mine. Yeah. I'm like, there's no way you can judge that better than this. You know what I mean? And it is undeniable for the most time. Like when you see a score in snowboarding, it's very rare when someone wins and then the internet fucking explodes. But in the last couple years, because we're so all bonded and community based online, that if someone gets a crazy score in the pipe, like Todd Richards is coming online in 5 minutes and being like, what the fuck? And then Grenier's posting about it. Yeah. And then then Stan's making a meme on it. And it's like, it's viral like you do have to be somebody who's like, a student of the game in order to judge these people who are the best snowboarders in the world at that time. Absolutely. And I mean, I will say, I think there are exceptions to the rule. Exceptions to the rule of what rule? Of every rule, like for me, like no reverts. Yeah, I know what you mean. You're right. Maybe if Dusty did one, I probably wouldn't care. And like same, I was just thinking about like when Kazu would do like the pipe runs where he was like all lip tricks, and then he'd do like a double last hit, and you're like, yeah, totally. That should be a 90-point run. Just saying. Totally. Like if somebody like back nose blunted the whole half pipe and then pretzeled in at the end, you're like 99. Like, but I don't know. But then he did a double at the end and went like 20 feet out. It was insane. And I was like, dude, the fact that he did all lip tricks and then generated enough speed to do a double cork last hit I was like, that's the most impressive thing I've ever seen anyone do. I know what you mean. But there's some things that are undeniable that if you are a fan of snowboarding, when you witness them, you're like, there is something so special about that if you overlook that, you are... But that's the thing about judging is sometimes there's like the criteria, like in NST, or it's like the credo. Mm-hmm. But like... No idea what that means. As much as like we get that as the judges, and it's like, this is how we're going to be judging NST. Even Travis is kind of like, yeah, but that's... like at one point you do need to have some flexibility. You know what I mean? Like, because... sometimes, sometimes things happen that are uniquely in the moment that you need to be able to digest quickly. and put a value on. And the only people who can really do that are people that have, people like us that have been watching snowboarding forever and digesting it through a unique lens and talking and arguing with people like Jeff Keenan on the chairlift.
Yes. Yeah. And I think NST is by far the hardest contest to judge.
Oh my God, totally.
Everyone is riding their own event.
I actually kind of disagree.
Really?
I think it's kind of easy. Most of the time, it's been very rare where I'm like, I don't know who the winner, like where it's like, it's been even close.
Yeah, I just think though, like the deciphering between like freestyle and big mountain and
we're not going big mountain. It's Travis Rice. Have you seen first of all, this is Travis Rice's event. Do you really do you think Travis Rice wants to see a bunch of flowy turns into like an indie? No, it's Travis Rice, dude. Like you gotta do some freestyle. This is a freestyle event, dude.
I know, but I don't know. I just think it is.
Watch Art of Flight, and then that's how he wants it judged. Like even I know my lane. Like
Bryn off the diving board.
Yeah, I mean, fuck, shout outs to Bryn. That was sick.
That was insanity.
Okay, so you said there's times in your career where you feel like you belong. You get to a point where you hit that kink rail and your favorite snowboarder ever, Tara Takitas, tacos on it and gets billied, and you're like, I actually kind of laced up there and got a clip. I'm feeling pretty good. I think I belong, and Tara doesn't.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
Totally what you thought. And then you go through a period where, you knuckle some jumps because it's windy and you feel like you don't belong and your team manager's saying crazy shit to you. But then there's this flow. Heading into natural selection beforehand, where were you at mentally? Were you like, I'm fucking on, I belong, or were you in a little bit of a slump? Like, tell us about the mental game going into NST this year.
Natural selection has been so weird and challenging for me. I was always so afraid to walk away from competition. I just never felt like it would be done for me. And I always felt like I would feel so much regret whenever I chose to exit. And I was shocked that when I did, I was actually like, no, this feels really right. And it feels like the right time. And I was like, kind of just accepted that I would never feel finished with that chapter. Like that's kind of the beauty of snowboarding, is that there's always something else and it never ends. But stepping away and moving into the backcountry, it just felt like really right. And I was like really happy about that. And when NST came around, I was like, oh, like this is like the most perfect marriage. Like I'm fresh out of competition. I have all these new backcountry skills. Like I'm gonna, this is made for me. Like this is gonna be great. And I went to Jackson and got like absolutely smoked. Only did one run and left. I've hurt my ankle. I didn't just walk away from the contest. I probably would never be invited back if I did that. But and then I kind of came back and did the duel with Mary 2 winters ago at Red, and that was just a really like hard week for me. And I just was like, I don't think I want to do this anymore. Like I don't think I have the fire. Like I think this part of my career is over. And Arc'teryx is really amazing. They allow us to work with a sports psychologist, this guy named John Coleman. He's an absolute G. And I was working with him a bunch kind of that year. And I remember right after Red, I said, I'm never doing natural selection again. I'm done. This is not what I want to do. That part of my career is over. I'm out. And he was like, okay. And then the fall kind of rolled around, and I was like, I'm kind of thinking about NST. And he was like, yeah, usually when people say they're never going to do something, it means they're going to do it again. And I was like, why? Like, what's wrong with me?
I'm never going to hook up with my ex-boyfriend ever again. It's like a week later.
Whoops. But yeah, and then I was just like, well, and I actually, like, thanks to Jess Kimura, because I was at Risk Maturity last year, and I actually had kind of ghosted T-Bird. They'd asked for my footage, and I hadn't sent it in, and I just like was like, I don't know, like maybe I shouldn't. I don't want to do a duel again. Like, I don't know how I feel. And Jess was like, are you crazy? Like, send them your footage. Like, why? Like, it's like a plane ticket. You can cancel it. You don't have to take it if they ask you to go. And I was like, yeah, I guess not. And she was like, yeah, what are you doing? Send the footage. And I was like, okay. So then I sent my footage in like that night at risk maturity. And then, yeah, I think because so many girls were injured from who had pre-qualified through, they had a few extra spots to give straight to Revy. And yeah, I got really lucky that they offered me one of those. And I was like, okay, I think that's kind of my sign that like, I got to give this one more chance. If only to like reframe it for myself and have a better experience with it. I think that was kind of like my driving force going into last year was like, I just want to be able to evolve into like a better competitor. Cause I like, to be totally honest, I was a complete asshole to myself for like 15 years. Like the most gnarly negative self-talk. Like that was a big driver for me also. It was like, you suck, be better. Like just, and kind of having that part of my snowboarding come back. It was almost like I had PTSD. I was like, oh, I can't do this anymore. I don't like it. So yeah, I think I was like, okay, like I'll go to NST one more time. And if I can reframe how I compete and if I can evolve as a competitor and just like leave this space with like a good experience, like that'll be kind of the goal. And yeah, I mean, that kind of worked out. All the work with John kind of paid off. I don't feel like I was riding like exceptionally well going into that event. I didn't feel super prepared by any means. Kind of was coming off a couple small injuries, but yeah, I just was able to kind of, I think my competitive experience like really paid off, like kind of making it through qualies, riding smart in qualifiers and in semis to make it through into finals. And I'm just like so grateful to Elena for like setting the tone in finals the way she did. Cause she just was like, I was like, oh, gloves are off. Like we're not.
No friends. Friends off.
Friends are off.
She drops in 7. You're
7.
like, oh, fuck. Here we go.
And I just like, that was a really cool moment too. Cause then it was like, I felt this like click and I was like, oh, there's the fire. I found it. It's back. Like, and it's like just kind of cool to like have that competition part of myself like snap back in, like when the pressure was on and the moment was there and it was like, okay, it's go time. And this is what we're doing right now. So yeah, props to Elena for like really setting the tone for that final and that event. Like, I mean, that pillow line was so sick.
I mean, it was a special moment for yourself, obviously, and for many people. But you know, I'm judging with Leanne, a very close friend of yours, and we
paid her off.
And I paid her off. No, but like it was a sick moment. At least I'll speak for mine. Like I've known you for so long, and I've always been like, damn, like you've always killed it. And it does suck to hear that you've, very similar to my career. You're very hard on yourself, but like. You know, me judging that and seeing you take home that win, I was like, she's still fucking doing it. Like, fucking rights. Congrats. And well-deserved. But, like, there is something about, like, being hard on yourself is a blessing in disguise in some cases when you act on it. You know what I mean? If you're hard on yourself and you're like, I don't like these things about me, and then you're willing to put the work in whatever that is and take some action, take some gamble, take some risk to do X. And like, but if you don't, and you're just hard on yourself, but you don't do anything, then you're just beating yourself up with no action, which is devastating because but that's when people get in a hole and it becomes like, you know, if you're hard on yourself and you have an injury or you have some trauma or some family shit or whatever, and you continually be hard, you don't get out of it. And then you get into depression and stuff like that. But if you're like, for me, sometimes like it is like, Jody, you're a piece of shit. And you know, if you're being honest, you're kind of being a piece of shit right now and things do need to change. And it's like, you are kind of not riding well. You got to go put your reps in the park. And I've seen you up there and we both have been riding that park for so long, side by side for so many years. And I've seen you put your reps in, you know what I mean? And like, you can see the work not many people see, but it's exciting for me to see it firsthand, the work that you've put into your career firsthand, because it's like the peaks and valleys, and like we've rode a lot of chairlifts. I've rode a lot of chairlifts with your dad. It's like multiple injuries. I mean, you had a case of pretty severe arthritis that put you into like a point where you couldn't even snowboard or get out of bed. Mm-hmm. And the hurdles that someone faces, nobody knows those. But then later on in your career, because, you know, all of this does come to a close at one point, to take home the icing on the cake is you win natural selection, one of the biggest and most respected events at near the end of your, not the end of your career, but competitive career. You're going to do it for what? Another 5 years, maybe. Yeah. You know, whatever. I'm just being realistic with the numbers. It's like, it's a special thing that you've accomplished so much. And later in your career, you know, you're going to your sports psych and he's just like, you're like, I ain't going back. And he's like, what did you say again?
Yeah, well,
I'm never going back.
I'm
he's
never
like,
doing it again.
Little do you know.
He went, okay. And then like 3 months later, I was like, maybe I'm going to go back. He's like, yeah,
I knew you were going back.
I figured. You say never, it probably means you're doing it again.
Let me ask you this. What has working with a sports psych accomplished?
Man, like to me, snowboarding is so mental. It's like, it's more mental than it is physical. And I'm my own worst enemy. Like that negative self.
Here.
You know, and yeah, just like it's such a double-edged sword with that kind of driver of like the motivator of like, be better, you're not good enough, you know, like that way of pushing yourself. I mean, it has a place. There's a reason I think your subconscious does it as well, is because it does work at times. But it is a slippery slope.
Balance, yeah. It's
the
dark.
Balance, and it's
hard.
finding a way to like use that tool when you need it, but not have it be the primary thing. And I've learned those kind of skills from sports psychs. And just like I think how to manage the pressure. Like, man, like how draining NST was this year. I was like, how did I do that like 10 times a year? I was like, I'm tired. Like my brain is frazzled. I mean,
you're also going from like, you know, maybe some doubt if you're able to accomplish it to this like ultimate high of winning. Like, what does it feel like a week after winning and what most would say is accomplishing a dream?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It is really like one of the most special feelings in the world. Like that moment, like it's pretty indescribable, and you do feel like you just feel such a sense of accomplishment, and you feel very proud, and I think that does linger. You kind of surf on that high for a while, but then there is a come down, and you come back to real life, and I think that is like a little bit of the hard thing, is like the highs are so high, but they're so fleeting. And I think for a lot of people, the lows are what like last longer, you know, and they're also what makes the highs more special and more meaningful. But it's such a funny thing that we chase those dreams and those moments of success. And as incredible as it is fleeting. And like for me, it's definitely not like why I snowboard. Like it can't be. Like you can't always have that high and that feeling. It's like, and if that's all you're chasing, to me, it's just not sustainable, and it's not the right reason. So
it's very not like clip high that only lasts like maybe 24 hours.
Yeah. Totally.
It's much longer.
Clip high is shorter.
You win at natural selection, at least you're getting a couple, like maybe a month. Or how long did the high last? And then like, you know, it's probably got like a taper for sure. But
well,
like,
it was about a week because then Jeff died and Pashley died.
Yeah, that'll end things pretty rapidly.
Yeah.
No doubt.
It was a pretty quick.
Like the ultimate high to like the worst. Yeah, like
tragic low. And something that puts like all of it in perspective, you know, like as I'm so grateful for that week in Revelstoke, and I'm so grateful to have won and for that experience. And, you know, but like yeah, I would give anything to have Jeff back. And it's so important to tell your friends you love them and to value every moment you get with them, because that's really, those relationships are what matter in life.
Yeah, it really is. It's like you get to the end of the road, everybody knows the person that doesn't have anybody else with them. It's like, what's the point?
Yeah, what
you know
am I gonna do? Hang out with my trophy? Like,
yeah, totally. Like, no,
Well,
I want to hang out in
sled.
the parking lot with Jeff fucking Keenan. Although he was a man of few words, you know what I mean? Like yeah, of course he would contribute to conversation, but he definitely wasn't like this like life of the party loud guy, you know? He read perfectly. I've said this too many times in the podcast, but he could read the room perfectly to the point where he would never be the person who wanted to like extend the party, and he'd never be the person who wanted to make the party end. He would just float in the middle and read the room perfectly.
ooh, I've seen Jeff extend the party.
I'm more meaning like in the parking lot and stuff.
No,
Every
no.
day in the parking lot we go,
But-
and I always feel like when I would see him in those places, it would always be like he would read it so perfectly, where it'd be like right when everything needed to close, he'd be like, "Yeah, and I'm out of here," you know.
Yeah. No, I think he
I've seen Jeff party before too.
Jaquan. But no, I think he had a really like a knack for he just you know, like sometimes when you catch yourself talking, you're like, wow, I should shut up. Like I'm rambling and people want me to stop talking. Probably like right now. Sorry, everybody. But I feel like he probably never had that thought once in his life. Like he never was annoying or talking too much. He always said the right thing. And like you said, it's just like he was such a good listener. I think that's something I've noticed, like I've tried to catch in myself, is like if I'm not being present in a conversation, and just try to be more like Jeff in that way, because he was such an exceptional listener.
I also feel like there's a gift where Jeff could see the potential in you before you could see it.
Oh yeah, big time. Like in so many people, like I said, I was like, I thought I was special. But yeah, he had just this like really incredible way of making sure that you felt supported and believed in. Like even when you didn't believe in yourself, like he did. And it was never corny. It was never like, it never felt forced. Like a lot, I don't know. I think like it was just such a rare gift that he had to do that with people and to be so genuine with everyone. And I don't know. I just feel like there's so many times when like I get and maybe this is partially like my own insecurities and something I should talk to my psychiatrist about, but like just like sometimes when you get a compliment and you don't really believe it, or you're like, why is that? Like you feel like there's an ulterior motive or something. It's like you never felt like that with Jeff. Like if he gave you a compliment, you knew he meant it and you knew it was for real. And he was just like a man of his word, and just had a really special ability to like uplift people and help people be the best that they could be. Have
you ever told yourself that you're really proud of yourself?
I've been trying to do that more.
Trying?
Yes. Or I have been.
Well, say it.
I'm proud of myself.
Fucking rights. You should be. Like,
Thank
look
you.
at your, I mean, from when I first had ever met you to now, it's like what you've accomplished, and not only what you've accomplished for yourself, through that whole journey, you've inspired other people, you know?
Thank you.
And along that journey, that's the thing about like someone like Jeff or somebody like a good person, is you don't get through life just for you at the end of it. It's like if you can move through life in a way where you do more good than harm, like you're fucking doing some good shit, and like you're one of those people. So not only did you win natural selection and a bunch of fucking gold medals at some fist contests that, like, you know, whatever, we're not the biggest fans of, and, you know, maybe a couple missed opportunities at the Olympics here and there because of fucking some blizzards, but like all in all, like you've not only had an incredible ride for yourself, everybody I know who's friends with you is like has nothing but incredible things to say.
Oh,
and that speaks to you, you know? And it also speaks why you were friends with Jeff to begin with.
Yeah.
It's because he's incredible.
Yeah. Thank you, Jody. Feel the same about you.
Well, cheers to us.
Cheers to us.
All right, I got a quick Patreon question here.
Oh, shit.
Before we get to 10 questions here. It's from Asami, photographer.
Okay.
Thank you for supporting the podcast, buddy. Really appreciate that. He said, everyone in Whistler knows that you love your dad so much. He's a true staple in the community. Can you tell us about the influence he's had on your snowboarding and life?
Oh, yeah. I was actually surprised that there was no questions about my dad. Yeah, my dad, Brian O'Brien, epic name. So weird. He's a middle child. I don't know. It's not like they ran out of names. He was in the middle.
We love that it's Brian O'Brien.
We love. Yeah. But yeah, my dad has been such a massive influence on my career. I mean, he taught me and all my sisters how to snowboard while he still skied, and my mom. And then he switched himself, and I don't think he's ever put a pair of skis on again. And when I moved, he moved me to Squamish when I was in grade 11 so I could pursue snowboarding more. And, yeah, he just always was like, he just took us to every contest, like every weekend. He would pick us up from school. We'd take the ferry. He'd drive all night to Kelowna or Vernon or Penticton, like wherever the BCSA contest was. And he'd get some shitty motel, and we're doing it on the cheap. But yeah, like he did so much for me and my sisters. And I think I didn't really appreciate that in the moment until I got older and realized like how much of his time and money and energy that he sacrificed for us to be able to pursue snowboarding. And, you know, at that time, like being a snowboard parent didn't really pay off. Like the fact that my parents like let me pursue snowboarding as a career at that time was like, what are you doing? Like there's not a career here. But yeah, he kind of ended up following me out to Whistler, and he's lived here forever. And I think now just is like a pillar of Blackcomb Park. And he's 73 now and still hits park jumps. And yeah, I'm very, very grateful for him and for everything he's done. He's one of my favorite people to snowboard with to this day. And he's a big, big inspiration for me to snowboard till the legs fall off.
How special. I mean, I can only imagine, I should say, how special this journey's been for him. Because he took you to those contests in the van when you were, you know, had a weird stance and probably asked the pros questions and like, how do you think Spence has got it? And like, you know, anything that a loving father would do in those early ages. Then he sees you overcome massive injuries, sponsor drops, not doing well at contests. I mean, there's the iconic scene in your film where he like runs up to you after on your slopes when you do the half cab and you come up short on that jump and your dad's sprinting towards you. That's just like, you're like, that's a fucking dad. You know, he just loves his daughter and he's the first to fucking be there. And he's been with you this whole journey, and he's been there for you when you won X Games, and then he's there for you when you won NST. Like, what was it like to share that experience with your dad, your number one fan, when you won natural selection?
Well, he wasn't there.
I know, but not
I'm
at
sorry,
there,
Dad,
like,
you had to watch Buns.
but that experience to share with him when you came back or whatever.
Yeah, it was really special. I think, like, sorry, this is making me digestion.
Yeah, totally.
I think I'm so grateful to him that he came to so many contests. Like, he would drive to Colorado for Dew Tour and for X Games every single year. He only missed one X Games in 15 that I did. He missed my very first one, and then he never missed another.
So he was there for the gold.
Yeah, he was there for the gold. He was there for all my medals, and he literally just like also again like integrated himself into like the X Games community to the point where like there was a couple years where they were like, oh, you can only have like one pass for someone to like come up to the course and, you know, have access. And that was when Logan was my coach, so it had to go to Logan. And my dad was like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm coming, because he stands on the knuckles. Like, he's like in the course. Like, he's like, I'm watching practice. Like, every single practice, standing on the knuckle, watching everybody ride, like, loves it. And he like snuck into the course. He like forged a parking pass, snuck into the course. And Sarah Castaneda, who runs X Games, found out, and she was like, Brian, just come to the office and I will give you a pass. Like, and like when I stopped,
You don't need to break in.
and when I stopped competing, I went to the X Games just to watch one year, and Sarah was like, "You always have an athlete pass here, like whenever you want to come back," and she's like, "And let your dad know that he has one too."
I only hope that I have a daughter one day and I'm breaking into fucking things like that. Like, what a cool fucking dad.
It was so awesome. And yeah, it's so rad. He really, like, I don't know anyone who loves snowboarding more than he does.
It's a cool bond between you. Like, you guys both love it. He's a supporter of you. He goes up there in the blizzards without you. I see him all the time up there. He's riding with Robin or Andre or Jeremy. And it's like, he's been a part of the Whistler, specifically Blackcomb, like community. He's a Blackcomb kind of loyalist, to be honest.
Oh yeah. He doesn't go to Whistler. He's Blackcomb through and through. Pow Day, Black Park. That's where you'll find him.
Before we go over to 10 quick questions presented by Vans, what advice do you have for brands right now? You've worked with so many snowboard companies over the years. What makes a company valuable and stand out to you and inspiring? And like, what kind of advice do you have for companies? As somebody who's rode for them and been a part of so many different ones, I feel like your opinion on this is beyond valid.
I think for me, it's like community and like the way that they use their athletes, like brands that really utilize their team and get their team together and like have good relationships with their riders. Like those are the brands that I've always been the most stoked to represent, the most loyal to. It's like, I don't know. I just, whenever I feel like I have a home, I'm like just so proud to be a part of that. And I think that's what gets the best results for both the athlete and the brand. And then I think, just being true to snowboarding too, you know, there's a lot of different ways to skin a cat, but I just think whether you're a brand that's like coming into the industry, like Nike did, it's like you hire the right people. You know, you hire people from snowboarding that get it and then have their finger on the pulse and understand the culture, because that I think is the core of our sport. And I think in the beginning, like that's why Nike was successful, was because the guy that thought it up, he understood that the culture was the heart of it, and that no, snowboard boots and outerwear weren't going to be the highest grossing facet of Nike, but they were going to bring in this whole new consumer that Nike didn't have access to before. Like, and then he hired the right people to help deliver that. And when Nike fell apart, it was because Sandy, the guy that did that, he had stepped away and a numbers guy had come in and was like, doesn't make enough.
I love numbers people. Just kidding. They're the worst.
Got to have the vision. But
I
think
the followers.
Yeah, I think just that, and
because then it just turns into an influencer thing again.
Yeah,
and then everyone's just chasing the like I said, it's the lazy person, the lazy team managers, the lazy brands look for numbers and followers, and you're lazy if you do that. Mm-hmm. You're just like, it's easy to type in on your phone, like someone DMs you to get sponsored, you type in their name, and you see 94,000 followers, you're like, we can sponsor this guy. Yeah. But you see the person that's still active that has, 20,000 or whatever, 10 or 5, and they have an active little following. Like, don't overlook those communities. I'm not saying that. I do still believe that having an active social media account in 2025 is a very important, in fact, necessary tool. It would be hard to sponsor somebody without that. I think there's probably a creative way that you could come up with a lane to do that, and it would probably work really well if you market it as such. But nonetheless, don't just chase the numbers, or you're lazy.
You're lazy, yeah. And pick people with personality. Those are always the best snowboarders.
Yeah, and good people.
Yeah.
You don't always, I could rant about this forever, but I'm not going to, because it's not my podcast, and we're switching over to 10 questions presented by Van Snowboard Boots. Up over to the left over here, we have the Infuse boot, which is incredible. And if you have any questions about that boot, we did a product review video 2 videos ago on that boot and the Verse and the Luna Pro. So if you're looking for an all-terrain beast, a backcountry boot, or a women's boot, I did a little, product breakdown on those 3 boots. And shout outs to Vans for supporting the podcast.
I ride the Viaje.
Oh, nice.
Good boot.
See? There we go. That was organic. All right. Best style currently and back in the day.
Kokomo. Currently. Back in the day. Oh man. I gotta go Victoria. But also was a big Johan fan.
Nice. Just random.
Just straight
Charger.
down Alaskan lines.
All right, career highlight.
Oh man, that's hard. I think X Games because it took me 10 years to do it. But NST I think is a close second.
Something you would like to tell your younger self.
To be a little kinder to yourself, and that it's not so important.
I agree. Most underrated snowboarder.
Oh, I feel like I can't say it anymore because he's not as underrated anymore. I was gonna say Bryn, but he's starting to get his flowers, which is great. Great to see.
Yeah, he's pro head to toe on 32. He's good.
Yeah, good. About freaking time. Just took him launching off a 100-foot cliff to do it.
Yeah, totally. Complete disregard for one safety. Just like, fuck it. So sick.
It's all you got to do, kids.
He was just like smoking like a mango vape right before he dropped into. Right beside Travis. You can see probably Travis like, what is this kid doing? There's rules around here. What keeps you up at night?
Instagram.
Same. How's your feed right now? What are some hot things that are in your feed right now? What do you got going on?
I've actually had Instagram deleted for the last couple weeks. I've been trying to only download it when I need to post something because I don't know. It's like a slot machine. It just never ends. But I don't know. It's so weird, the algorithm. Like right now it's starting to be more snowboarding again, but in the summer it was starting to be people cleaning their houses.
Nice.
That's a problem if you are like, what is this? Like, seriously, people watch this stuff and then all of a sudden your whole feed is that.
That's true. You got to be careful.
You got to be very careful.
Best thing you've seen live with your own eyes, aka favorite trick you saw live.
Oh my gosh. Slope was when Yuki Kodono did back-to-back 16s at US Open. It was the first time anyone had linked back-to-back 16s, and it I felt so bad for Mark. He still had to drop. He was the last one to drop at the top, and the contest was over. And just seeing all the guys pile on top of him at the bottom, it was just such a rad scene, and just to see the hype of the whole everyone competing together and just to see that camaraderie, I think is just so special and unique to snowboarding. And then so many things at NST the last 2 years, being there in person and watching it, but Bryn on that diving board, I my jaw was on the floor. I was I remember watching the first few runs and be I don't want to do this contest. I just want to go down and watch. This is psycho.
Then you win the whole thing. You're like, I'm glad I fucking did that.
Good thing I didn't watch it
Never
again.
going to NST. You're like, I'm going to NST.
Yeah.
And I'm going to win.
And I'm going back again next year.
Did you have internally, did you keep telling yourself over and over, how everybody these days is very into this new word. It's very commonly used in 2025 called manifestation. Did you say over and over to yourself, I'm going to win, I'm going to win? Or because you're similar to me and you're kind of mean to yourself, did you go, you suck? And then you still pulled it out.
There was definitely moments of you suck. I almost went off the deep end after run 2 in qualifiers. Very close. But then I had to look at that format was so confusing to my brain, my very slope style brain, that I was I can't even think about that. I'm just gonna. It's 3 runs. It's 3 runs. Best one counts, even though it wasn't. That's just how I had to look at it. And I remember after not I fell I think, the second run. And then Elena did that crazy pillow line, so it wouldn't have mattered even if I did land. But I remember being like, oh my God, this is like do or die. Like, it's so stressful. Like, and I was like, no, it's a slopestyle. It's 3 runs. You have 1 more run. Just land your run. And like, that was like a nice, like almost falling into the pits of despair to like just coming back up and focusing on that one run and that one moment. And I definitely had a little bit of a moment in finals where I realized there was only 2 people and I was like, oh, I might win.
Hell, I might win this thing.
Well, because usually in a slope, you're in finals and it's like, you might get 4th, you might get 6th. Like, but then I was like, oh wait, there's only 2 of us. And then it was just, kind of just, I was very lucky to get to watch Elena's run from the top. That's like a huge advantage to see what someone else did and to be able to kind of plan your run off of that. Like, I don't know what I would have done if she had gone to bar fight. I would have been like, well, I can't compete with her over there.
Yeah, you sound like you keep saying the same story. I keep hearing this like doubt in your head, like I can't do that. I won an X Games gold. I can't. I won the US Open. I can't. I won that. Like, bitch, you can do anything. You're fucking incredible,
Thank
Spencer.
you. But I'm a smart competitor.
Sorry, pardon my language, by the way. That was very rude.
But
I'll beep that out. Beep.
Oh yeah, sorry. I did a couple of beeps too. But like I just, but that was a cool moment too, because it was like she dropped in and did the front 7 and I was like, oh, you came to my house to play today. Like, okay. You're not bringing me over to yours, so.
Yeah, this is Spencer's playground. Favorite steelboarder?
Maria Thompson.
Oh, good pick.
Yeah, love her. Switch front boards all day. And then, I think for guys, it still might be Jed or Rene. I really liked Heaven last year.
Yeah.
And I just like a boarder that can do everything. I think that's so rare these days.
What's your favorite grab on a snowboard?
Method. That's fucking such a... does anyone have a different answer?
Yes, everybody.
Oh, really?
I don't even like methods that much.
Oh, I love methods.
I know. I can't have a podcast on snowboarding and not love methods, but surprise. I don't not like them. I'm just very particular with them, and they're harder to do well than I think people realize.
They 100%. I think that's why they're the best, because very few people can do a good one.
That's true. One thing left on your bucket list.
Hurley Road Gap.
You're going back?
I want to, but now I shouldn't have said that.
Oh, shit. No, you heard it here.
I would like to hit Hurley, and I'd like to hit Forum Step Down.
Oh, Forum Step Down all day.
Yeah.
Hurley Road Gap to me is like, if it snows, it snows. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a hard one. It's so low. But yeah, there's a few Whistler classics I'd like to tick off before the jumping days are over.
Who is the greatest of all time to you?
Brian Savard.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Logan Short and...
Sorry, okay. Well, Brian Savard is from Port Alberni.
Ooh.
And as an island girl, I really looked up to Brian Savard growing up. But in all seriousness, I think, for women, definitely Jamie. I don't know if anyone's going to touch like her records. Maybe Zoe, we'll see. But the effect that Jamie's had on women's snowboarding, I think is going to last forever. And for guys, I guess like Travis for what he's given back.
He gives back. He could just be
back.
on a boat. He could be on a boat.
You could be Sean. He could have bought Aaron Style, then sold it to the devil.
Mm-hmm. You could have done that.
He could have ruined one of the best contests in snowboarding, but instead he created one of the best and lives and kind of dies by it. And yeah, I think he's just done so much for snowboarding, both as a rider and as just trying to create a better path forward for the sport, which I think is really powerful.
And he, like, as we've touched on this show, that it's nice to see the world moving in a more open space to include the women and at the same level. Mm-hmm. And Natural Selection since the beginning has done the same prize purse and has done the same amount of riders almost. And it's like, that's a big thing. Like,
That's a given in 2020 or in 2012 plus. That should be a given. But it is great. They could have not included us at all. And
I just mean like it just at the beginning I feel like it was hard for them to fill that many shoes with that many women that were riding at that level in the backcountry, and to have them in the event safely. And so like that was something to think about, because there's been a gap in this whole snowboard thing. There was a lot of pro snowboarders who had backcountry experience, and then there was almost like this gap where like there wasn't a lot of youth that were like able to ride that kind of terrain, or at least they thought so. And then they invited Zoe, and then they were like, oh, actually, if you just give them the opportunity, they can do anything.
I want Kokomo.
I seriously
want Kokomo.
Kokomo, yeah.
And I mean, so many of them, like, you give those girls the opportunity and they're gonna flourish back there. It's just, they gotta be, not many people can do what Zoe and like Anna have done, where they like film and are competing still. It's a really hard thing to bridge.
There's so many good girls on the come up right now.
But like, Tess Cody would be a killer in the backcountry. Kokomo, Zoe, even Annika Morgan. Like, there's just so many girls on tour right now that have such sick style, and I would love to see them come over when they're ready. But I also think it's really cool that with like kind of what Robin's doing with R&D, we're starting to see girls that aren't feeling like they have to compete in order to be a pro snowboarder. Like, that has been the formula for so many years, where you put your time in at contests, you cut your teeth and build your career that way, and then you might get an opportunity to transfer over if you're lucky. And now we're starting to see girls like Estelle and Ellery Manning and Mia Jones, Big Mountain Marissa, like these really sick female riders that are just really going straight to the backcountry and really thriving from a younger age. And I'm just really excited to see like just how far they can take it and where it starts to grow from there. Cause I mean, we need some, when I'm like the new blood in the backcountry, like, yo, I'm old. We need like young blood.
It is funny when you ride with that younger generation and they compare themselves to you, and you're like, don't compare yourself to me. I'm fucking almost 40. Like, dude, like how you should build this and where you should be in the air. And you're like, I'm out, you're in.
But that's such a thing in backcountry though, is like, you need people to show you how to build a jump and how to read terrain. It's such a different ball game. And you know, it is something that's really special about it, that it does require experience.
Yeah, it does. And most people that do it for a long time only get better at it.
Yeah.
The best case right now would be, you know, John Jackson or Travis Rice. You're like, you guys are the oldest, and like John Jay's jumping off of like 90-foot cliffs into, what is he doing?
An animal. Like, I don't know, that guy. I hope someone is paying him a lot of money to be doing that, because he is such a legend. Big fan. Yeah,
and
also props to Gigi coming out third place NST.
Shout out to Gigi.
We'd love it. Love to see it.
All right, Spencer.
Sorry. Yeah, we could talk forever.
Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for being yourself. Thank you for on the podcast giving yourself some flowers and saying you're proud of yourself, because you've had one hell of a fucking career.
Thank you.
You've killed it. I hope that you realize just how big your impact has been beyond yourself, but you've helped inspire so many new women come into this space. And whether it was your back nine or any of the other accomplishments you've had over the course of your career, we are fucking beyond hyped that Spencer fucking O'Brien is in this shit. She's still going. She's going back to NST. And is she going to go back to back golds? Stay tuned. See you at Natural Selection, people.
See you in Revy, people.
See you in Revy.
Thank you, Jody.
Thanks for coming on. Be great, everybody. Have a great fucking night. Go snowboarding. It's fucking a lot of fun. Thanks for coming on, Spence.
Thank you.